If you're a Muslim who's retired in the West, we'd like to invite you to join our retirement community in New Cairo, Egypt. Here's how it works. We'll have our relocation team pick you up from the airport, get you reliable cell phone service, set you up in one of our temporary housing locations, give you a guided tour of your new home, and let you choose between 3 hand-picked furnished apartments. From there, you'll have a community of retired expats to experience the best of what Egypt has to offer with you. Go to retireforhijrah.com or click the link in the description for more information.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What's good, my brother?
What's going on with you, man? It seemed like we were on here just the other day, man. Time is moving really quick.
I know time. Nah, that's old age, huh? Not that I'm getting older. But,
It could be, man. Forgetting
yeah,
the
let's say
days
that's
as
old
they
age.
All right. So, Bismillah, let's
How's the
get
fam?
started, man. This is today's topic is an interesting topic. It's about fact-finding missions. And before we get into that, how's everything going? How's the work and everything over there? How you doing personally?
The work is good, bro. No, the work is good. Alhamdulillah, I've got work back to back. No issues there. Funny enough, who was I was talking to? Ismail, my brother Ismail. You know him, innit?
Mm-hmm.
He's a bit like you. He doesn't really talk much. But then I think the other evening he came around to visit me, and he just basically said, "Look, you need to go home to your family. It's not good for your mental health." And he's right, bro. It's like it's been a year now, bro, and it's like, oh, come on, man. But obviously, we have issues here with the economy. Like the UK is broke at the moment. They just that they won't say it. They won't tell it. They won't come out and say we're broke, but we're broke. So prices have just gone up. We've just heard this evening that the energy price cap has gone up by X amount per year because of obviously what your friend Donald Trump has done. And it's the little man like me that's feeling the brunt, bro. Which is one of the reasons why I've done a video on my channel, Hamza's Hijrah, basically stating I've had enough. I'm not doing the backwards and forwards is coming to an end. Like I'm looking to start my own online business. I don't know whether I'm going to document it on my channel, but it's something that I've been putting off because of that mental block that I have of learning new stuff. I don't know what the reason is, bro. But I think the online route has to be the way because now, even though I still think the idea and the concept is good, coming and going for some people. But when the economy flips over and you're stuck, you know what I mean? It's frustrating and it hurts, bro. So, but yeah, other than that, alhamdulillah, I still speak to my wife and my children every day, sometimes twice a day. Most of the time, twice a day, actually. So I get a daily update of what's going on with the poultry farm, how the kids are going, their days out and things like this. I think Dahlia's going on a trip to one of the safari parks. It was Kareem's birthday the other day. He's 7 now. Yeah, so I'm missing lots, bro. I'm missing lots, but alhamdulillah, it's a necessary sacrifice, bro. I'm not bitter about that at all. It's just obviously being away from your family for very, very long periods of time. Like it's going to be a year for me in October. It does take its toll, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, all good. It will come
Yeah,
to an
man.
end,
Inshallah,
inshallah. It will
man.
come to a conclusion.
You'll get there. Inshallah, you get there soon.
Mm.
And hug the
Inshallah,
baby for
bismillah.
you.
Yeah,
So
man. No. No. Mm.
so I wanna give some background on this topic of fact finding missions. We did quite a few fact finding missions, and with no clear. We tried to have some structure behind and some logic behind how we would choose to or where we would choose to relocate, and
Mhm.
and I mean it's not a perfect situation, but there are some things um, that you can do to help yourself choose at least a halfway decent place, right?
Mhm.
So I want to I want to stir up some memories. Um, I
Have you
can't
got any more
remember.
pictures?
I do, man. I didn't prepare. Hold on a second.
Alhamdulillah.
Why you do that? Why you do
Yeah,
that, right? You
because I
always take us off
I
course. Hold
enjoy,
on a second.
I enjoyed the
Go ahead.
reminiscent part of the dive, man.
Right. Let me see. Let me see what I can get. So I'm gonna go ahead and frame this thing as um so a brother that we both know,
Mm-hmm.
he contacted me and he said, I'm going to Malaysia.
Mm-hmm.
So would you like to go? And I said, yeah, man. I'd like to check out Malaysia. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have no idea of what to expect. Um, but this is after the whole uh, Tanzania situation.
Yes, yes, yeah.
I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
how that happened. I don't know. You didn't. Oh, you know what we forgot to tell people?
Go
You
on.
actually got banned from the country,
Yes, but yeah, bro.
right?
Basically, what usually happens is if you get barred from entering the borders of a certain country, they put a stamp in your passport.
Right.
However, they didn't do that with me. They just put me on a plane and said bye. So I got the money. As soon as I got the money together, I came back, and this time I came back through a different airport, and I
Mm,
I got as far as buying my visa and stepping up to immigration, and he swiped my passport and said, "Sorry, sir, you can't enter Tanzania." So I'm like,
right.
"What?" So I said, "Look again." I said, "Look
Right.
again." And I said, "What's the reason?" And he said to me, "There's nothing on the computer here saying or giving a reason, except you're barred from entering Tanzania." So then, when I went back, um, during the time I was backwards and forwards from the Tanzanian embassy, that's when our brother contacted you about Malaysia. It was during that time.
Right. So, man, I'm missing a bunch of parts, but let me try to piece it together as best as possible.
Hmm.
So we went to Malaysia, right?
Hmm.
So I met the brother in Penang,
Hmm.
which is where's Penang, man? In the direction.
Penang, Penang is. Don't we? Didn't we have to go through Penang to get to Shah Alam?
We went
Or
to
maybe.
we took a trip to Penang, right? We took a trip
Uh-huh.
there. Man, this is crazy, bro. Like I'm really getting old. But we started in Penang, right?
Uh-huh.
So Penang was more like I think there's a lot more Chinese influence there.
Hmm.
Um, and it was nice, you know. And I wasn't disappointed, to be honest with you. I thought it was, a nice start to see the country. And our I don't know why even we started there. I think no, I know why. We started there because there was another person there that was living there, and we went there to start to speak to them about what life
I,
was like in Penang.
is
Right.
this the time? Oh, this is obviously before. This is before I came to Malaysia, isn't it?
This was the first time I went. We went to
Okay,
the same
right.
place. We went to Penang. Remember, we went to we had a family
Because
cook us dinner,
there was three of us. Remember?
American family. Yeah, all three
Yes,
of us
yes.
had breakfast or something at the place.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a second, man. I'm going ahead of myself because I'm looking at these pictures. Hold on one second, bro. 1 second. Get myself together.
Because if I remember rightly, it was while we was in the UK, while I was in the UK, that you contacted me and said, check out, you know how you do in your casual way. Why don't you come check out Malaysia, bro?
Right.
So obviously my reaction was like, Malaysia? Isn't that a Hindu Sikh country?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, don't they worship Buddha there or something like that? I remember the
Yeah.
conversation well, bro. And you
Right.
was like, nah, man. This place is like 80% Muslim, man. I'm 90% Muslim. I'm like, really? So
Right.
then, and I think with that must have been the time that we arranged to go with the other brother as well.
Let me
So it was
see,
me,
man.
you, and I can mention his name, not his full name, but I can mention his name, can't I?
Yeah, you can. I'm about to show a
Yeah, me.
picture.
Oh, yeah, it was me, you, and Muhammad,
Let
didn't it?
me show you this picture, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this won't get him in trouble, man. He hanging out with unsavory characters like you, man. Hold on a second. Let me bring this, man. Stuff, but you always take us off course, man.
Oh no, I'm sorry, man. I like to reminisce, bro.
Hold on
I
one
like to
second. Let me
reminisce.
let me pull up. Let me pull up this because this will refresh your memory.
No.
Um,
And we done. This is when we done the Airbnb tour, isn't it?
yeah. Do you remember
Oh
this?
my gosh, bro. Yeah,
This
mate.
was this was in Malacca, right?
Malacca. Okay.
That was in Malacca
Uh
when
huh.
we went to this buffet in the morning for breakfast. Yeah, this stuff is
Yep.
I don't know. Hold on a second. Let me pull this up. Now the person we went to
No
visit in
grey hairs,
Penang,
bro.
yeah, I see.
Mm-hmm.
The hold on a second, my fault. Sorry. Let me just bring this one up. This one. The person we went to visit, I don't know if you're gonna remember this, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you will. But this was right outside their window. The masjid on the
Yes,
water.
I
I
do
don't know if
remember that, bro.
you remember
Yes,
this.
yes, I do
So
remember.
right
Yeah,
outside
mate,
the
I do
window,
remember that.
this is from the apartment. This is from their apartment. Right outside the window,
Yeah,
you
I
had the
remember.
masjid there on the water.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, man. I have more, but we'll hold off on that a little bit.
No.
Um, so back to the story, right? So I contacted you. I was really
Mm-hmm.
impressed by Malaysia. So I contacted you, and um, let me get out of here. Let me move away from this. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
I contacted you and I said, come check it out. So was that my first time or second time? That was my second time going. And the first time I took my mother and I took Abdurrahman with me. That was
Okay.
the second. And then y'all came in that time. So they were there before you. So I was there like a week before you, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So um, so then you guys came and then whatever, we rented a car, we went around. So that was our first time together, taking a look at the place, and then of course we stayed in a bunch of, mashallah. By the way, just as a side note, Malaysia has a amazing Airbnb. I don't want to say
Yes.
culture, I guess you would say, but I mean because it's like it's a way that they do it. That I'm sure other places do it, but Malaysia had the best. They had the best options in terms of cleanliness, options, prices. You didn't have to really deal with the host that much. Like I don't know if we dealt with any hosts. Like you just go in there, get the key, they give you the instruction,
No,
and that's that. Did we deal with any hosts that you remember?
oh no, yes, there was one. Wasn't there? Wasn't there one that we walked in and we was like, "Oh, like, what's this?" We changed it because it wasn't up to scratch.
Yeah, you wanted to stay. I was like, nah, bro. Like I couldn't do it. So nah,
I was no,
get out
I
of here.
sleep on the
'Cause
floor,
was
bro.
like,
Like,
it was moldy or
yeah, I was in the back. So
Yeah,
put me on the balcony. I'm good.
Right. And that one was the Muslim only one, by the way. They do that over there. That was the
Yeah.
Muslim only, like only Muslims can rent it or to Airbnb it. And that's an interesting thing in Malaysia that they have that. Like they'll say only Chinese can rent this apartment or only Muslims can rent it.
Yeah.
And nobody's offended by that. You know. So anyway, at really honestly, man, at that time I didn't really know what to look for. You know what I mean? Like even we liked the country, and that's really what mattered. We just liked it. You know what I mean? It wasn't even what about the visa at the time. Even though we did go around, we did talk to brothers. We met with people, and I think by that time we had already moved. Did we?
You had already moved.
Oh, and
No,
you came later.
no, I came way later because the thing is the fact that I had been blocked out of Tanzania was still fresh. Yeah.
Right.
Because if we skip forward 2 years later, I had to when our visas couldn't be renewed because of this COVID thing. I had to send my family back to Tanzania and I had to come back to the UK.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah.
So what had actually happened? What had actually happened was, me and my wife moved to Kenya because that was the only place that we could meet up, and then I was waiting for the paperwork to be done on the brother side.
Right.
So in between, but yeah, I don't think you had you moved there yet? No, you hadn't moved there yet. We actually arrived together. My family and your family arrived together, and we were Airbnb-ing it.
Nah, yeah, you were there first, man, because you were in that tower next to the mall.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
All right, hold on, man. Hold on a second. Hold on, man. Okay, hold on. Let me. Do I have?
I can't remember the name of the place, man. It had a weird, not a weird name, but it was like a name that you shouldn't really forget. It was a top. There must have been at least 20 floors, bro.
Right.
Yeah? And on every floor, there must have been 8 to 10 studio flats.
Right.
And then they were immaculate. So it was me, wifey, and my daughter were there. Like you could just, and I think actually the bridge that took you from the main entrance of the apartment block to the mall wasn't open at the time that when we first arrived. I think we're still under construction or being finished under construction. But then,
right, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's like you had ground floor and then you had lower ground floor. And on the lower ground floor, we had a couple of restaurants the office where we actually picked up our keys, and a few shops. There was a few shops there, like the dry cleaners there and all that kind of stuff. and the masjid was only about. I mean, I used to go to Jummah every Friday, so it must have been about what 5 minutes walk, 10 minutes walk, if that. And it was just nice, bro. It was just nice.
I remember that. I don't know. I'm thinking you were there before we were. But anyway, I'm trying to find some pictures of where we lived.
Oh, Shah Alam.
Yeah. Let me
Wow.
see. Let me see. I have something, but it's not going to do it
Any justice?
any justice at all. So let me see that. Man, we getting thrown off again. Hold on a second, bro.
I listen, bro. I tell everybody, I was almost shedding tears when I had to leave that place, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, you remember when you were leaving? This is a real interesting story, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you were leaving, almost the whole neighborhood on your side was at your house.
Yes, especially my neighbor. Yeah, I had a Chinese neighbor because my daughter and his daughter, they used to play like they were in each other's houses, bro. Like, can I come over? Yeah, come over. Can Dahlia come over? Yeah, no problem. She can come over. That was daily,
Right.
daily. I think even my wife's got pictures still. Even I've got pictures on my phone still of these kids playing together, man.
It was really like a neighborhood, man.
Proper.
Yeah, it was really like a neighborhood. So just to paint a picture for everybody that's watching, it was like I guess they would call it row houses. So it was like the houses were side by side. So each house was like 4 bedroom.
Yeah, terraced. In the UK we call it
like terrace homes, right? And
yeah.
And our neighbors, I'm saying this for a reason, by the way. Like the neighbors were like our neighbor came to us and said, we're having Akika. We're having Akika in next week. I want you to come. And I was like, all right. But I don't know why, but I wasn't gonna go. Right. So, and that's wrong. That's not. But coming from Egypt is, sometimes people do things and they, they just being courteous. Sometimes it's not real, right? So I said my family went. And they had a good time, mashallah. You know how they do it. They bring out the tents in front of the house.
Yeah.
And they, mashallah, they have a way they do things. It's really organized and clean and everything. So they went. So when I came back, when I saw him again, he was upset with me.
Because you didn't go.
Because I didn't go. But because the invitation is real. Like I'm telling you, I'm asking you to come. You're supposed to accept my invitation. Right. And it's funny because we were used to living in these apartment buildings. But there it's like literally, it's like a real neighborhood. It's not neighbors in an apartment building.
Yeah.
So like he was kitty corner across the street, and the streets are not like big streets. It's like, you know how it was. Because
just about two cars can pass each other, but you have a pavement. Obviously your drive has space for 2 cars, then you have a pavement, and then the actual main road, and then it's obviously exactly the same on the other side of the road, but you just have enough room for 2 cars to pass, because there was no need to park on the roadside because your driveway had room for 2 cars.
Right.
So everything was like
all this, mind you, but bear in mind that I was paying about $500 a month for this 4 bedroom. It's upstairs. It's 3 bedrooms upstairs, 1 bedroom down, looking over like a Central Park. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And fully furnished, by the way. So fully everything in there, beds, all the furniture in the house. And they had like other extra stuff like video game consoles and all kind of stuff in there. You had a backyard.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had a backyard. Did you have a backyard?
No, I didn't have a backyard, but my front yard Like
was
I
right
could.
facing the thing.
Well, that's right. My front yard was like I could come out of my house and look like across the street into this massive green. And we had that orange. Remember the orange bridge that used to go? It was orange, bro. It used to go. It was across. Remember the orange bridge? It didn't even look like a bridge, but it
I
was.
remember it.
Yeah, it was like a
Oh wait,
sculpture.
hold on. I have a picture here. Hold on a second, man. Go ahead, keep going. I have a
Yeah,
picture here though.
yeah. So our apartment or our house was $350 a month. We took ours unfurnished. We took ours unfurnished, and I believe we were. I think it was me. I think that it was a brand new housing estate. I think
I'm
we're
about
not.
to
There
show
must,
a picture.
yeah, there must have been about 5 families on that estate when we moved on there, bro. And we had gated security. Like, I mean, obviously, it got to the point where they'd see us and say, "All right," and then they let us in. But at first,
Right.
I think we had to give them the apartment number and tell them who we was going to see and all that kind of stuff. I said, "No, I live here, bro. I live at number blah 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 blah." There it is, bro. Shah Alam
And it's funny because your house
is there.
would have been right there.
One, two,
Can I
three,
draw on this thing, man?
It's okay. If you look at the corner, it's 4 houses to the right. There's the car parked out. Is that the car parked outside, bro? Where did you get this picture?
This guy. My wife sent me this, man. Hold on a second. Oh, the bridge right here. Man, come
Where's the
on now.
bridge?
We're supposed to be talking about fact finding missions. Hold on a second.
Oh yeah. So, folks, you see this? These
But look at
apartments
this. Look
here.
at this, and it looks like this. That's the tripped up part. This is like a. This is a what do you call it?
Oh,
This is
mock-up.
like a mock up, but it's clean
Yeah.
just like that.
That's why I.
It's clean
That's
like
why
that.
I asked if that was our car, because our car's parked right outside my house, bro.
Hold on, let me see
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, folks. This is what what you see is what you get. This is how it is. Like, we would wake up in the morning to lawnmowers going, where we had dudes dressed up in their high vises trimming the grass. Yeah, or your kids riding their bicycles and all that kind of stuff. Like, I think there must have been about 4 or 5 parks within walking distance, from our homes. 4 or 5
Hold
kiddies
on.
parks.
I'm gonna put another one up. Check this one out.
I'm going
This
back
one
to
is-
Malaysia.
hold on. Check this one out, man. This one is not. This is what it was. Because I remember you had the water, the stream. You had
Yes.
a farm down like a little makeshift garden that people can go
Yeah.
into. It was activities in here. Like you had your
Yeah.
basketball courts. Your bro, subhanAllah. Yo,
Yeah.
I mean, all right, let me.
Do you remember the
gotta
wild
throw out.
buffaloes? Do you remember the wild buffaloes that used to walk
The
through
buffaloes, man. I don't have my man. If I had my phone,
the?
I had took pictures of that stuff. Hold on one second, because
Folks, we would wake up in the morning sometimes, and there'll be wild buffaloes eating the grass, bro. Like, nobody knew where these buffaloes came from. They would just arrive in our housing estate, bro. Like, amazing. And you see that view, people? That view that you can see, like the hills and all that. That's not photoshopped. That's real. That's real. That is real.
let me pull up another. Hold on a second, man. This was all the places had these playgrounds. This is a real picture.
Yep.
All of them had here's the kids playing on the whatever that thing is. All right, hold on.
And there's Abdul Rahman in it. Yeah, so there was like 5 or 6 within walking distance of our homes. Do you remember when I no, listen, man, this is crazy, bro. I want to go back to Malaysia.
There's another one. Here's the view. This is the view. to the. If you can see in the back, you see the trees and everything. And this is that same area just from their view.
Yeah.
Man, hold up, man. What we doing, bro? Stuff. Man.
Forgive us, viewers. Fact finding missions. That's what we're talking about.
We needed to do that, bro. Yeah, back to the fact finding mission. Okay, so imagine, the prices. Hold on a second, man.
Usually, let me explain something to the viewers as well. Okay. When we did our fact finding missions, let's take Tanzania for example. Yeah. We got into the habit of bartering with the landlords because we wanted the best price possible, and you know what I'm saying, we wanted to know what we was going to get for the money, and we would barter as much as we could. And to be fair, bro, I don't think we did much bartering when we drove onto that estate, and we spoke to them. We were told, yeah, this apartment's $500 and you're fully furnished, and yeah, this house is $350 unfurnished, and I don't think there was much bartering, bro. To be fair.
Why? What? Hold on. Look at this. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm being sabotaged right now. Hold on a second. All right, then we got to move on after this, man.
All right, this is the last one, folks. Last one.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing where it kind of ties into the point of this, of how people make the life in the West seem like is you can't compare it to anything else.
Yeah. That's a lie, people. It's a lie.
Right. It makes you afraid to go and look at other places. Right. Here, I'm gonna show everybody the what the actual house looked like. Hold on a second. Where did I put that? I don't even know where I put it.
Do you remember this? Do you remember the story with the curtains in my house, bro? You remember the curtains? Bro, listen, right, okay. So we've got an unfurnished house, yeah. So do you remember the front door? Obviously, you have the drive for the two cars, and then we had that big window, the massive. It was 3 meters high by I think. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
So car park, and then that window right there.
Yes. Right. So what we did was we went to the store and we went and bought off the shelf curtains. Remember?
Right. Yeah.
And then we went home and put up these curtains, and they were about 2 foot short from the ground. So then we had to go to a store and get them tailor-made. The ceilings were 3.2, 3.3 meters high. Yeah, that was it. Oh my God, that was my home, man. Was that where I live? Or was that
Huh? This is off one of these property things.
Oh right, okay. Well, so folks, this is how you move into your property. And those front windows there, yeah, they're from floor to ceiling, as you can see by the. If you look to your right, your left probably, on the 4 pictures there, the bottom left-hand corner one, that is floor to ceiling. And I'm 6'2", so when I stretch my hand up, it's nearly 8 foot, and I couldn't touch 8-9 feet. I couldn't touch the ceiling. All right, so some of the apartments have got wooden floors, some of the apartments have got tiles. Yeah.
Hold on, bro. Let me just pull up. This is crazy, man. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Because you miss Malaysia just like I do, bro.
Yeah, I do, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, so this is a better look at the front of it.
Oh, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, that's it. And the funny part, this is a render. This is not the actual thing.
Yeah.
But it's that clean, bro.
Yeah.
It's that clean. I remember sending a brother a picture of the basketball courts,
Uh-huh.
and he said, "Is that real?" Because the basketball courts would it looked like you could eat off the ground. That's how
Yeah,
clean it
mate.
was, man.
The rings had the nets on as well. I'm sure
SubhanAllah.
they did. You know, like you go to some basketball
Yeah, yeah,
court,
yeah.
there's
No,
no
man,
ring.
this is
There's no ring around the. There's no nets
we did
around.
a video, bro. We did a video of the. I would pull that up, but I'm going too far.
Mm-hmm.
But we did a video of the open
Look at that.
gyms, because you remember they had the open gyms with the monkey,
Yes.
what do you call it,
Yes.
pull-up bars, and the all that
Yeah.
stuff, the
Yeah.
parallel bars and all that stuff. And we did a
Yeah.
video of. I used to take the boys out there to work
Cool.
out, man.
Uh
And
huh. Uh huh.
anyway, so by the way, man, we're doing this just to say that you have to go see for yourself, man.
Yeah.
Period. It's
Yeah.
nothing really more to say about that. Like hold on, let me pull up this masjid right quick. The masajid, that's a whole nother thing.
Is it the
We
blue?
talked about
We used to go to the
we
blue
went to the blue
masjid,
one. We went to the metal masjid.
metal
We went
masjid,
to
masjid on the
Putrajaya.
water, Putrajaya.
Bruh, it's
Yeah.
the masajid are subhanallah. Like, hold on a second. Let me pull up this one. This is not going to do it no justice, but this masjid,
How-
this was in Kuala Lumpur. This one.
Do you have
But
any
the
of the
masajid are
Malaysia?
just.
Yeah, bro.
Hold on a second. Let me
Subhanallah.
show one more thing.
See,
The,
now it's who,
astaghfirullah. I mean,
now who's ruining the schedule?
my fault, man. I just had to. Let me get this one right quick. And that's what we used to do every Friday. Just go to a different masjid, right?
And go. So what we used to do is we used to choose a different masjid and then choose a different restaurant. So
Right.
we used to call
don't
it.
even. Oh,
Yeah. We used to
man,
call
don't
it.
even talk about that.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. We used to call it Malaysia Fridays. We used to video. That's when we
Right.
first started Make Hijrah. Remember?
Yeah.
Make Hijrah began with Brother Omar and I and the tribe, your boys. Yeah. We would find a masjid for Jummah. Locate. I don't know how you boys did it, but you did it. You said, okay, we're going to go to this masjid. And then we would video ourselves going into the masjid and this, that, and the other. We would talk. No, that's what we did. We would have a conversation in the car on the way to the masjid, because I was the driver, yeah, and we would have a conversation on the way there. We would find somewhere to park. Then we would video ourselves going into the masjid, yeah, just before Jummah, and then we'd shoot again when we were leaving. And then we would tell the audience, yeah, we're going to go and find somewhere to eat. And then we would bowl on there 10-handed, yeah, like take over the restaurant, order up the place, yeah, and then we would grade the food from 1 to 10. That's how Make Hijrah started. That is how Make Hijrah started. Yeah, bro, I remember. Yes.
And let me pull up a few more of these masjids right quick.
Have we got any of those videos left, bro? Or did YouTube
Huh?
take them all? Have we got any of those videos left, or did YouTube take them all?
No, we have. They're still there. I have to
What,
get
Make
on
Hijrah,
the Make Hijrah website.
Hijrah
They're on the
Fridays?
website, not on the but they're not on the YouTube channel.
I'm gonna have to
Okay, hold
download
on.
some of them and put them up on my channel, bro.
Bro, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, bro.
I don't know. This is a masjid we visited. I don't know what that was.
I don't think I went to that masjid. Doesn't look familiar.
That was the one. I think you remember there was a masjid that was like made out of something recyclable, something or what, something. I think this
Okay.
was it. It's like the most energy efficient or something. That was another thing. See, man, look. You can go to a masjid and they would have the big screens on the wall.
Yeah.
And they would in some masjids that have translation.
Yes.
It'd be translated on the wall on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is the metal masjid. This doesn't do it any justice, this picture, but it
No,
looks nice.
no, it's too far away. It looks nice,
It
from,
looks
but
fun.
when you're stood in
But
when
this
you're
is
stood in
huge.
front of it, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's something else, bro. Like I've
When you
never to this day seen a masjid like this. I'm talking about in terms. It's like it looks like it's built out of it's just metal, right?
yes, yeah,
Uh, and then here's the blue masjid, and even this seems small
but
compared
it's
to how
not.
this actually
It's
big this thing actually
Yeah,
is.
it's huge. I remember when we used to drive to that masjid and we used to hit the bend. We used to go around. We used to drive. I think there were trees when we were driving down the road. There used to be trees on our left hand side, and we used to hit the bend, and all you would see is that big, massive dome, bro. That was
Yeah, man.
that place was beautiful, man.
That's
I'm
fine.
going back.
I think we posted up. You probably won't remember, but we posted up like down the street from this masjid. There was like coffee shops and stuff like that, and we post up a few times. It wasn't all the time. You probably won't
Okay.
remember that, man. That's what you too old. So let's well, I'm old too, but anyway. Okay, so now, man, on to this fact finding mission thing. So uh, I'm gonna say a few observations, like hindsight observations, and maybe
Mhm,
our brother Hamza can come in and give his take on it.
mhm.
But I think that the move to Malaysia, I don't regret it at all.
At all.
But and I love the experience. And
Mhm,
it's not first of all, it's the fact that uh, people give us the impression that Muslims are in perpetual war, that backwards. They're killing their daughters for what they call that thing,
on honor killings,
repentance,
honor killing. Hmm.
all this stuff that that they want to portray Muslims as barbarians or what have you. So when you go to Muslim countries, now bear in mind now that if you come as a tourist in some places, that they will overcharge you. Not everybody, but the people, they're gonna take advantage, man. You there, you got the British pound, you got this. You're gonna find in touristic situations where people are like they're gonna try to take full advantage.
Hmm.
So that's why when you're trying to do fact finding missions, you don't do it at going to the pyramids or going to some touristic place to try to judge a country. That's not it. You have to get in with the people, and even more importantly, you need to have relationships with other expats that are
Hmm.
there. And that's what happened the first time I went. I called up a friend that I knew from Egypt. He picked us up. I think he did that with us too.
Yes, he
You
did.
remember that?
Yep.
He picked us up and took us around,
Hmm.
showed us everywhere, took us to the places to eat and the malls and all that and everything else. And he's the one that took us over to the Metal Masjid and all these other places. So you
Hmm.
need to have some people on the ground and get connected, and so that they can show you what life is like there. Not just the touristic places.
Hmm.
And even if you wanted to see the touristic places, it's always good to go with somebody that's on the ground so that they can tell you that no, that's not the price.
Hmm.
Uh, we had my son showed me a video of this guy. They were just taking full advantage. Like he'd get in an Uber, the price is 200 pounds, and the guy would be like 400 pounds. Like you got to pay more than what the app says and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? They just trying to dog him out.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that doesn't work if you know what's going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Like they can like if you know how things go, they're just like okay, not they might not even want to take you because they want to get the other guys. So anyway, saying all that to say, so we went to Malaysia. I fell in love. Brother Hamza fell in love with it, and that kind of fogged the vision for taking a full picture of what needed to happen because I moved there without having no idea of how I was going to get a residency, right?
Hmm.
Even though we did do some groundwork. Right?
Hmm.
We did ask people, and we found connections as well, like doing that. And we both took advantage of those connections, alhamdulillah, and we were able to stay. But I would say that in hindsight, if you wanted to take advice from us, I think that we give you a clearer picture on how to look at things and how to navigate things. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know if you want to add something to that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I think I was saying it the other day, like, yeah, I think the last live that we did, you think you cut off for a little while, and I let the viewers know that, listen, we are not showing these pictures and telling you where we've been and telling you where we're going as just to tell you because we're bragging. We made
Mm,
mistakes along the way. Yeah, we made mistakes along the way. We had some successes along the way, but still there were certain things that we might have done different. So us going through what we went through now gives us the information to say when we was here we did this and this is what happened. So it doesn't happen to you. Try avoid doing that. That's what
right,
this is about. But in our successes, like we experienced Malaysia in our one of our successes
right,
in our not I wouldn't say failure, but in our most unfortunate moments, you got thrown into jail. I got thrown into jail. Do you understand what I'm
mm,
saying? So the fact that you and I both went through those situations, we can look back and say, okay, on the rewind, what we would have done differently. So
right,
now we're giving that information to the viewers. So like
right,
when it comes to fact finding missions, they are so important, especially if you have like a family in tow. So both of our situations were different because you didn't have. I don't think you had a fact finding mission when you went to Egypt, did you? But you was all
no,
excited. You was all excited to go. Everybody was on board, right?
yeah,
I landed in a as a single man in Egypt. Okay, so our situations were different. However, when we were moving out as a Jamaat, it now we was like, oh, well, fortunately, alhamdulillah, we had the finances to hop and jump. So we could go to Malaysia, we could go to Tanzania, we could go to Zanzibar because the fulus was there. But in a lot of people's situation, if you're talking about moving, say for example, your family, you're talking about moving your family from the west to the east. Yeah, holidays it cannot be a holiday. It has to be a fact finding mission, and you have to have a list of things that you need to find out before you come back. And I also
mm,
like to say that you can't do it in a 2 week stint. You can't do it in 2 weeks. Well, I mean you can, but if you can push it to for a month, push it for a month. Yeah, and also like Omar was saying earlier, live as the locals. Okay, don't get a hotel, get an Airbnb. Yeah, have somebody on the ground that you know. Yeah, and say, right, let them know before you arrive. I want to live as the locals, and I want to be able to tally up or make an estimate of how much it would cost me to live here on a full time basis. So yeah, you have your date night, you have your the days when your children go out, you have your ordinary days, you eat out, you go shopping and you come home, you cook a meal, and you think, and then you tally up. Okay, so on a good month we spend this, on a bad month we spend that. Now, can do I have that finances? So that's one part. The next part is okay, you may not you're in an Airbnb, but you want to find out where else you want to live. I mean, this is what we did in Malaysia. Boy, how many? We must have stayed. What is it? 6 or 7 Airbnbs, bro.
probably more than that, man.
It was
I
in
don't.
that time. Yeah, when the three of us went city hum, like we drove all. Not I'm saying all over Malaysia because Malaysia's
You drove, remember?
Yeah, I drove. Yeah, I drove. Yeah, I was the designated driver because obviously the
Right,
Americans drive on the wrong side of the road and the Malaysians drive on the right side of the road, like us British.
right,
So obviously I was
right,
designated driver. So we stayed in about 6 or 7 Airbnbs. Yeah. And I think it was no more than 2 or 3 nights, wasn't it?
Mm.
But our mission was okay. All right. To be fair, we did go and check out the local cuisine. All right, fair enough. But it was mostly checking out apartments where we're going to put our families to live. Yeah. Um, then we like because obviously we went to one place and they my brother again. We walked onto this housing estate, yeah, and me and Mohammed are looking at these ordinary apartments, thinking, "Oh, they're nice," or these villas, they're nice. No, not my brother. Oh, he went to the most expensive. How much is this?
Oh man,
This,
I forgot
this
about
thing,
that, man.
yeah, this thing had a lift going through the middle of the house, bro.
Right.
So Omar doesn't
Yeah,
want
I
to live.
remember.
Yeah, Omar doesn't want to live with the common folk. Yeah, I mean, so me and Mohammed are looking at the villas and we're looking at the apartments and thinking, yeah, how much is this and this? And, where's oh no, I was looking at the castle across the road with a lift going through the center of the house. Yeah, and bro, even that, that was 2,000 a month for that. It was for that
I don't know
apartment.
if this was a
Yeah, for that castle that you looked at, it was $2,000 a month, and we was contemplating. We was thinking, okay, well, if we do this and we could do that, we could afford it. You know what I mean? But then, alhamdulillah, reason brought us back down to earth, and we went, no, 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 no. And then I think the brother that first introduced us to Malaysia was he the one that took us to Shah Alam. Anyway, sorry
Uh,
about this, folks. I'm
go ahead,
reminiscing.
bro. Go ahead,
I'm giving advice. I'm sorry about this, folks. I'm giving advice about fact-finding missions. Yeah. So live as a local, yeah, and make sure you have all your figures down, and be a little bit conservative because obviously you are going to be basically doing things that you wouldn't ordinarily do if you was back at home. But try and stick to that as best as possible. Yeah. Make sure you make contacts before you leave. The expat communities, Muslim or not Muslim expat communities, I have to suggest. Because you might go to somewhere and there's no Muslim expat community. Usually they are, but you might find there isn't. So the non-Muslim expat communities are just as helpful. Yeah. Obviously, you want to find out about schooling. You want to find out about your the medical situation there, and then when you come home and the euphoria has settled down, okay, now we're back to earth now, right? So what do you think? Have a discussion. Have a serious discussion whether you can meet the requirements financially. Yeah, and then cut a long story short, Bismillah and get on the plane and go. Like, why not, man?
you remember the
Here
50
we go.
residencies or whatever it's called, the 50 cent?
The 50 cent residences. Oh no, was that the housing? Was that the housing estate that was
This
built into
this
50
is the
pence?
balcony. Yeah, this was the balcony, the view of this thing. Anyway, okay, let me get out of here, man.
This is a
Let me
hexagon. This was a hexagon shaped housing estate or something like that.
this was the
Right.
it wasn't a park. It's like a monkey place where all the monkeys are, man. That's
Obviously, you can
Abdurrahman
see
and the
that
monkey.
Abdurrahman is not on a fact finding mission. He's having fun. Do not follow this person's advice. Yeah.
All right, so anyway, there's a couple here. Look, I have a presentation, man. Look, I was prepared, bro.
Mhm.
Let me pull up this presentation, man. So keep us on track. So fact
Yeah.
finding mission: inspect the life before you choose the country. So
Mhm.
this is for people who are at this stage. I think this is very valuable information in this presentation. And whenever you want to chime in and make a commentary on something,
Mhm.
just go ahead and chime in. So let's move. So we talked about the income, which is extremely important.
Mhm.
Last time we talked about the country to income match,
Mhm.
which again is really important. You got to make sure that you make enough income to afford your life in the place, and then also you don't want to have uh, so many resources that people look at you as an ATM machine or bank
Mhm.
or something like that, right?
Well, I mean, can I just chime
So
in there? Can I just chime in there?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
Let me go back there.
Okay, right. My advice to people, and these are to people that are financially well off. Financially well off. Nobody else has to know how financially well off you are except you. Yeah. So even though you may find yourself in a situation that you can afford things that normally you'd have to stretch the budget to get if you're back in your native country, just relax. Just relax. Like nobody has to know that you are financially well off. In fact, I think when I was in Pemba, I would just go to the ATM once a week, take out what I need for the week, and that was it. That's all they knew. They all know, like obviously people that was watching me, this Mzungu, this foreigner, and I'm there. They'd only see me go to the ATM once a week, and I just take out what I needed, come home, and that was it. Yeah, nobody has to know if you are financially well off, alhamdulillah, but nobody has to know that apart from you and your family and the people that are closest to you. Yeah, not because you can afford it means you have to get it. Let's put it that way.
Hmm.
So I'll just put that out there.
Appreciate that.
Mm,
Oh, and inshallah, the next live we'll talk about the visa and residency because I know that's something for people, but
mhm,
that's real important because that
mm.
was something that when we went to Malaysia, that was like an afterthought. Like, okay, so we're here now, so what we gonna do?
Yeah.
So that led me to uh,
Mm,
my family had to leave. Hold on, bro. Listen, we had to leave. You were there when we
mhm.
had to bring them to take them to Singapore.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I was just, I had to kind of take my mind off of it because I was afraid. They had to do a border run,
Uh-huh.
so
Yes,
that
I
was the
remember.
first thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then finally, I just did. I worked with the deal that we had, or if you want to
Right.
call it a deal, whatever it was. And
Mhm,
then that meant I had to go to Thailand. So
mhm,
I went to Thailand for like a week or something like that. And then I had to bring my family to Thailand.
mhm.
And then again, trying to go back in was, an issue. So anyway, it was all of that was because I didn't prepare for that ahead of time. So that's
Mhm.
why the visa residency. And the same with it would have been the same with Tanzania trying to figure out how we're going to do this. But we honestly, bro, I'm talking about me now.
Mhm.
You a little bit different because you
Mhm.
you know. But for me, I was like, I didn't even consider it or care, and that's not right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was like,
Yeah.
okay, we figured this out. We went to talk to lawyers. We went to try to do business, get a business, whatever.
Yeah.
So so at the end, it was like move and then figure it out. But that's not really how you should do it.
Mhm.
Uh, you should try to figure that out because the fact finding mission is not the move. The fact finding mission is the fact finding mission.
Yeah.
So once you decide, like, okay, this is where we're gonna go, now you need to make sure that your residency stuff is taken care of. This is grown man talk now. It's
Yeah.
not young guys that just wing it. They don't
Mhm.
care. But as an older man, I'm gonna say that's not the way. The way is find a place you want to go. Of course, it has to be an actual option to even move there to begin with. But
Mhm.
let's just say that it is. Then you check out, okay, I want to move here. So what's my strategy for residency? All
Mhm.
right, I don't know if you want to chime in on that because you didn't seem like you, but you're a wild guy. So
No, no,
good.
no, no. It's no. You're right, bro. It's like, but I mean, again, Aki, like our situation, because at the time that we were country hopping, we were Muhajirs already. We was on the path.
Mhm.
We was already, and obviously none of us expected what happened in Egypt to happen. Yeah. You didn't foresee yourself getting arrested. I didn't foresee myself getting into jail. And obviously, on the back end of this was our families. So obviously, we were kind of in panic mode. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the reason why I kind of looked up to the heavens when you said before you said you had to go to Singapore and you get to Thailand, the paperwork or the deal that we had on the table was in the process of being done. Because don't forget, when I was in Kenya, I was in Kenya waiting for you to say, yeah, everything's all good, bro. Come. Do you know what I mean? And I think we was in Kenya
But
for like,
you remember that was your first choice.
that was my first choice. What, Malaysia?
No. That deal that we had, you jumped right on that deal.
Yeah,
You know,
of course.
that's
Because,
what I'm saying. So
yeah, but
I
because
didn't. At first, I was like still trying to figure things out. Like, okay, that deal is there, but let me see what else I could do or whatever. That was me. But you said you just jumped right on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because one of the reasons was because I hadn't seen my family for like 8 months, bro, and I'm like, obviously, and it's not because I couldn't go. It's because no, it wasn't because like there was anything stopping me apart from the block they had put on my passport. Do you know what I'm saying? So I said to my family, okay, I told her about the deal, told my family about the deal we had in Malaysia. And then I've gone, so my wife was like, listen, we just need to be together. So I said, okay, well, let's move to Kenya then. You know what I mean? So I went to Kenya. I went to Kenya first. Went to Nairobi first. Sorted out the Airbnb, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Make sure the place is nice. Waited a week, and then my family come and joined me in Kenya. And it was at that point that you and I was in discussions about, what we needed to do to get this deal on the table and what were the processes was. And I was like, okay, where do I sign? Who do I send the money to? Let's do this. But again, that was because of panic mode, because we wanted to, we're on the path of Hijrah, but it's not just us, it's us and our families. Your situation might have been a little bit different because your family was with you. You know what I mean? And again, I want to say to the viewers, Omar and I are letting you know these situations not to brag, because ideally I shouldn't have got thrown into jail. Ideally, I shouldn't have been kicked out of Tanzania. Ideally, like, things should have been done differently. So what we're basically enforcing over and over and over and over again is preparation. You don't want to go to Oman, for example, with your family. Go and take a step wrong accidentally or accidentally on purpose, or somebody tells you to do something to avoid something that you should be doing, but because this person has told you to take a shortcut, you think, I'm going to take this shortcut, and then you end up in jail with your wife and family in the apartment wondering where you are. So, and these things happen. Yeah, I can get you a residency visa. Just give me $1,000 and I'll sort it out for you. You go and give this person $1,000 for your residency visa, and then you get done for bribing an official. Like, all because you're in panic mode. So it's a step by step. It might take a little longer, which is, I know what you're thinking in the back of your mind. If I do everything proper, it's going to take me longer. Why shouldn't I take a shortcut if I can? The reason why you shouldn't take a shortcut if you can is the repercussions of that shortcut if it goes wrong. It might take a little longer, yes, but step by step, kidogo, slowly. Like, we've sorted this out. Okay, that's in concrete now. The next step, we have to do this. Okay, that's in concrete now. The next step. And then when you've done the best of your ability to sort out everything, Bismillah, get on the plane, move into your apartment, and live happily ever after. That's the theory. Don't do what me and Omar did. We are we are the products of saying Bismillah too early. We have Omar and I have too much tawakkul. Do you know what I'm saying? The situations that both of us have put ourselves in and our families, to be fair, it wasn't fair. It's not fair on them. But we did it because we know what we were searching for. And the thing is, we found it for a while. And then, Allah's will took over and said, well, no, you're not, my decision is that you're not going to stay there. But does that take us off the path? No. We're diehards. So go ahead, bro.
All right, man. Let's move to this presentation.
No.
You said a lot right there.
No.
Bismillah. Okay. Inspect. Don't vacation. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is a mentality when you go there. Even though mashallah, I mean, you enjoy yourself, especially if you have companions with you and your wife or your family, you enjoy yourself. It's something that my family told me to mention, that, it is ideal if you could have your family with you, especially if you have a small family, if it's just you and your wife, that you both go check it out. It shouldn't be kind of unilateral decision. That's ideal. You know what I mean? Because some brothers can handle things a lot harsher circumstances than women. And so they have their perspective on a place, and then you have your perspective. So it's always good to balance that out, especially, that's being considerate, and that's thinking long term, because you don't want them to be there and be unhappy. You know what I mean? So you need to observe. You need to look at things through a lens of living, not vacation. Because vacation, you tend to just overlook a lot of stuff because you're not going to stay there.
Yeah.
You don't care about certain things because I'm not living here. I'm just visiting. So you have to look at it like, okay, if I lived here, how would I look at this particular whatever you're looking at, right? You need to test. You need to try out things. You need to go to the grocery store. You need to see what it's like to buy groceries. You need to check out the like, if you're going to be heavily dependent on internet or any infrastructure in the country, you need to make sure that it works for you. Because again, bro, I'm gonna tell you, man, like you probably won't agree with what I'm saying, but really, when we were in Zanzibar, it was a lot of things that were just red flags in terms of like internet quality, just certain things that I was like just overlooking because the place was so beautiful. To be
fair, that was Pemba, bro. That was
Pemba,
yeah. Pemba.
But it was a lot of stuff that I was just like, I didn't care. I was just like, I'm not overlooking stuff.
Yeah.
And when I should be like really critical, but I wasn't. Yeah. I just like the place,
Yeah.
So, but you do, if you have, like, our business was heavily dependent on internet. So you have to check those things out. You have to see, like, if the gym is important to you, you need to make sure that you need to go to the gym and see what the gyms look like, how much it costs, that type of stuff. You got to look at it from that perspective.
Schooling, bro. Like where my children going to go to school? Like, even you're on a fact finding mission.
School. So yeah. All that's and see, the funny thing is, this was stripped out, man. Like, when we went to Zanzibar, we went to a lawyer. We sat and asked questions, and we actually recorded it. I don't know what happened to it. We went to the doctor. You remember when we went to the doctor and we talked to him, the guy in the clinic?
Yep.
Asked him about, healthcare and stuff. We went to the school. You remember we talked to the principal or the headmaster or whatever he was?
Yeah.
We did that. Yeah. And I don't know if it was more for I don't know why we did it. Like, was it content? I don't know what was the reason, because we recorded.
Yeah, it was for content. It was 100% for content, but at the same time, it was a fact-finding mission for us to move to Zanzibar, because we hadn't made up our minds whether we was going to stay on Pemba, because Pemba, just to quickly inject here, Pemba is a place where you can forget about the world outside. That's how beautiful Pemba is. But then again, reality shows you that, okay, Zanzibar is a little bit more, the infrastructure is a little bit more advanced. Yeah. So, the things that you think you need are in Zanzibar, and the things that you want to run away from, like technology, news, dramas. That's in Pemba. Like I often say to my wife about Pemba, if I was financially stable and I knew that I was going to be financially stable for the next 30, 40 years, yeah, I would probably move back to Pemba. Even though, even though what happened to us in Pemba meant that, you know, we had to leave the country and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Pemba Island is like, if you're going to somewhere where you just want to concentrate on your family and your relationship with your Lord, Pemba, 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 Pemba. There is no distractions. There is this. It's just like a nice, quiet island where, yeah, you can go to the beach, you can go and socialize with friends. It's family orientated. It's a very, very simplistic life. Yeah, and then you go to Zanzibar now. Zanzibar is a little bit more, obviously, part of Stone Town is obviously touristy, but we also traveled outside of Stone Town because when we were looking for properties, we were like, why would we want to live in the middle of a tourist area? We were Mohajirs looking to settle our family. So we traveled outside of Stone Town, which is the capital city of Zanzibar, to find residential areas where they were close to schools, they were close to hospitals and clinics, and it was a nice residential area. And I think back then we were a jamaat of nearly 20 people, bro. If you include your children, my children, the brother's children, his family, there was quite a few of us in it. There was quite a few of us. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to live in one place together as a Jamaat. You know what I'm saying? Which is another aspect of, fact finding missions. Is it just you and your family, or are you considering going with a Jamaat? You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that. Go as a Jamaat. Yeah. Say for its safety in numbers. You know, two heads are better than one and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. But again, to re-emphasize what Omar has said earlier, when you're going on these fact-finding missions, bring your families with you. You know what I mean? Just don't tell. Okay, you've had the conversation with your wife. Oh, I fancy going Gambia. I'll see you in 2 weeks, and then all she gets from you is your interpretation of where you went to. Be fair. If you can take not if take your family with you. Yeah, she's your right hand. So there's going to be things that she notices as a woman that we will miss as men. We're just different that way. So it's ideal. It's an ideal thing to take your family with you. Fortunately for Omar and I know for me, I never got no resistance. When I said, okay, we're moving to Kenya for a minute, okay, no problem. And then we're moving to Malaysia. Oh yeah, I did get that. Malaysia? You know what I mean? And then when I explained to her, she said, okay, I'll go where you go. I was fortunate, and I'm sure Omar was fortunate enough as well. Not every family is going to be as fortunate as us. Alhamdulillah, Omar and I and the brother who was with us at the time, we have been fortunate. Wherever we decided to pick ourselves and went, we. I mean, Akhi, did you get any resistance at all for any places that you chose? Did you have any resistance in any form or fashion to any of the places that you've been to?
My fault, man. My mic was muted for some reason.
Uh,
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah. Kazakhstan.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like that. It was more or less like, again, like all this stuff is lessons learned,
No.
So that's whoever's listening, pay close attention
Mm-hmm.
because this is not theory. All of this stuff, we live this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When did you move to Egypt, man? Like 2010 or something like that?
Yeah, 2010, 2011, something around them times.
Bro, that's 16 years, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
16 years of experience. It's not, again, we did it. We moved in 2002. So
Mm-hmm.
you're talking like whatever that is. What's that?
25.
24 years.
24 years, bro. Yeah.
So yeah. So whatever we're giving you here is valuable information.
Mm-hmm.
Just when you if and when you decide to make a move like this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what the brother saying is right. Like you're gonna like, especially, you know, your family. If your family wants what you want in terms of like leaving and living in a Muslim country, that's a good first step,
Mm-hmm.
because some people don't even want that. Some people want to stick. They want to stay in the States or stay in the UK. You
Mm-hmm.
have situations like that. And I'm sure you dealt with a situation like that.
Yep. Yep.
So and that's a really difficult situation.
Mm-hmm.
So the first step is like, okay, do we agree that we want to move to a different to a Muslim country? Then
Mm-hmm.
after that, now it's still, you can't still assume that wherever country you're going that they're going to just want to be there. That's another thing.
Yep.
So it is a good idea to take your family with you. I've seen brothers do a lot of FaceTiming, or video calls and pictures and this, and that's in the case where their family can't come for some reason, but
Mm-hmm.
they're like keeping them, keeping them up on what's going on and what things look like and all that stuff. And it gets easier as you spend more time outside the country,
No.
because then there's some things you learn about what they don't like, and what problems they may have in places, so you can kind of like see like, okay, you're not going to like this, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, which brings us to this third point, which is to verify, because there's a lot of assumptions that
Mm-hmm.
people have about a place, and they could be from their research, what other people are saying. Because even though we speak a lot, we reminisce about these things and how much we loved it, there are people that don't love it like we do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the reality. Like, I remember a brother telling me that he cried uh, because he was in Malaysia and he couldn't go back to another place. So his Malaysia experience is not like ours,
Yeah.
right? So that means that you have to experience it on your own. Like, we're reminiscing because of the things that we experienced and
Mm-hmm.
that we liked about Malaysia, but you may not have that same
Mm-hmm.
experience. So forget about the assumptions. You have to verify. Like, is this? They said it was, the houses were nice and they're cheap. Okay, I don't see that. Verify
Yeah.
before you
Yeah.
before
Mm-hmm.
you make the move. And
Mm-hmm.
that's again, you have to live like a resident before you decide to become one. You have to
Mm-hmm.
go there, go into the Airbnbs. The Airbnbs, the reason we say Airbnbs is because it's normally somebody's house. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, we rented an Airbnb when we went to Malaysia, and we stayed there the whole time. The whole 2 years we were in Malaysia, we're in the same Airbnb. But it
Mm-hmm.
became just a rental property. But initially it was an Airbnb. Then we started looking around for places to move. And then at the end of looking around, and by the way, it's a lot of stuff. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't no shortage of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it just so happened that, I mean, this is amazing because my mother, brother Hamza, we all were in the same neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
That thing that we showed in the beginning of the live, for those who missed it, go back to the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that compound, we found places within that. And when we first came, we could have probably brought a whole crew of people in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you say, you could a Jamar. What he mean by Jamar is like a group of people that's working together. You take
Mm-hmm.
them, you could have 10 families. We could have moved all in that same compound.
Compound.
That's how that's how open it was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my fault, man. I'm gonna kind of get through this because we kind of, bro, you be taking me off track sometimes. Okay, so here's a point of advice: test
Mm-hmm.
the life you can
You can
actually
actually
afford.
afford. No.
And Hamza mentioned that for me because, like, I like to see what's the best thing you have, and it's not because I can afford it. It's not because I can afford it. It's more or less like, show me what you think is the best thing you have. And the reason, let me explain that real quick.
Yeah.
This is
Let me hear. Let me
this,
hear this now, bro.
this is an important point. Why do I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Because in different places, different things are more valuable to the local people than it would be for a foreigner. What do I mean by that? Let's say you go into a house and it has marble floors, and they use this gold dust, like to paint something gold. They use actual gold dust and paint the trimmings in gold dust, right?
Oh, gold leaf. Gold leaf.
Gold leaf, right?
Yeah.
So, and then somebody might have brought this artist from the village to come and paint the pillars in the house. All this stuff. This is real. What I'm talking about. Actually, we rented a place like this. It had marble floors, gold leaf, and it had a guy that came and painted the flower onto the thing. Now, the bad part is that my kids wrote all over the flower. You know what I'm saying? It had no value to them.
Yeah.
But to the owner, it's like, yo, we brought this guy, he painted this, whatever. So I'm saying that to say what? If you don't care about marble floors, then something that, let's say, it's a similar size or a similar look or facing a similar view will be a lot cheaper than the one that has the marble floors.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, let me see what you think is high level, and then I can go back from there. I won't take the super high level. I'll go down, but I'll see how much you price in the high level so that I can find where I fit in the puzzle. Okay, so test the life you can actually afford. What's your budget? We talked about that earlier in another slide. So test the neighborhood. Go look at the neighborhood. What are you used to? Because some people, like where I'm from, it's a lot of it's spread out, and there's a lot of homes and short buildings. Like the highest building might be 2 floors or whatever. That's where I come from. So you might be used to a spread out, homey situation. Then other people that come from bigger cities might be used to like big high towers, apartment complexes or whatever. So you need to kind of test the neighborhood that makes you feel comfortable and makes, maybe it's something not too far off from where you come from. So you should test the neighborhood. Don't judge it by the downtown next to the Petronas Towers and all that stuff. Don't judge it by that. Go to where the people live. And I would say be in close proximity in the beginning to expats as well. Where do expats live at? They live over here in this area. Being and it doesn't have to be American or UK expats. It could be any expats. Where are the foreigners living? Where are their amenities that maybe things that you're used to? You should test those things out. Expect real housing. Like we used to go, and we would go and get a real estate guy, and he'd take us around, and we'd look at what's available and the pricing and everything. And then while you're there, live on your budget.
Yeah.
What do you spend at home? Go to the grocery store, buy what you would normally buy. Test out your budget for living in that place in real life activities. Check for certain food availability. One thing that you can chime in anytime, Hamza, if you see anything interesting. But the food availability is an interesting one because of where people come from and the things they're used to cooking with. Like you might be used to certain spices, certain, whatever. I mean, you know that better than me. You might be used to certain things that are not available here. Like for example, in Malaysia, they didn't have a stove. Like you would cook on the top on the, what do you call it?
It's a hob. It's like a hob, isn't it? It wasn't a flame.
Yeah, they didn't have that. Like we had to buy one. We had to buy something where you can bake. So because if they don't have that, obviously they don't have things related to that. So you have to take that into consideration. Are you willing to do without certain things that you may be used to? Checking out the household services. Some people are used to having cleaning services and childcare services, delivery services. So don't think you're going to go. I think, Hamza, this is like, you don't know about these things. Like they have something in Egypt now called Talabat. It's actually in the GCC countries and everywhere, where you just go on the app, order what you want, and then the driver comes and drops it off. Right? That's a new thing. I think you left before that happened here.
Yeah.
So that didn't exist in a place like Pemba. Or a place like that doesn't exist. So if you're used to like DoorDash, I don't know what they call it in the UK, just where you order on the app and they bring the stuff to you.
Yeah, Uber Eats. Yeah, we have all that.
Eats and that
Ocado.
stuff. Even simple as a taxi.
Yeah, yeah,
Like that's not a thing in some
yeah,
places, bro. Like
hmm
even don't think Uber works everywhere. It doesn't.
yeah.
They have their own version, or they don't have it at all. So
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff matters if you're used to it and it means something to you. Then you have to see how am I going to get around? How am I going to go out with my wife and take her here and there? Or does that mean I have to rent a car or whatever? You have to take all that into consideration because when we were in Malaysia, one of the things I think we had to do was rent a car.
Yeah, we
We had a
had to
car.
rent a car. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't even see how we would have did things without it. Just to be honest with you, man.
Mm-mm-mm.
You know,
I
all
mean,
the activities that we were trying to
yeah,
do, like
yeah. I mean, to be fair, we weren't just. I mean, that car earned its place because it wasn't like it was just for um, gallivanting and all that kind of stuff. It's like for shopping. When I used to go shopping on a Friday, you used to go shopping on a Thursday, or something like
right,
that. Do you know what I'm saying? Or if we had
right.
a meeting up, we had a meeting to meet the brother, my friend. You know, my friend from Trinidad.
Who's your friend?
My friend from Trinidad,
Who's your
bro.
friend?
Wow, bro.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, of
yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know
All
who you're
right.
talking about though.
Yeah, yeah. So if we had to have meetings and things like that, so yeah. But it was essential. It was essential. And at the same time, suppose you don't drive, how would I use public transport? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I don't really
yeah.
like, I don't really like, I don't really trust taxis. So how would I use public transport? Do they have a travel card? And one other thing as well, when we say compare it to what you do back in your current country, yeah, compare what you can do without. So there's certain things that when you're in the West, for example, you see it as essential because if this thing is not made essential, then you can't do the next thing.
Right,
Try and do without it and see what happens. See what happens. Is there another way? Is there another more simple way of achieving that simple goal? Do you know what
right,
I'm saying? I mean, like paying your bills, for example. Yeah. I mean, or queuing up to immigration. It sounds trivial, sounds simple. What's the big deal? Yeah. In Malaysia, we
right,
had an app. You had to download
right,
the app, let them know you were here. You didn't have to check in at reception. You just let them know that you were here, and you sit down on the app, and then your name would be called out on an app. You wouldn't have to speak to somebody until your name was called out. So you might find that everyday things that is seems monotonous to do in the West because of the social structure or the infrastructure of that country that you're thinking about going to, because that's been removed, that thing that you would normally be frustrated about to do in the West is 100 times easier in the country that you've chosen to move to. But you won't know that until you go through the process. It might be
right.
more difficult. It might be more difficult, but you won't know that until you go through that process. So that's why it's important that when you go for your fact finding mission, this is my home for a month. This is my home for a month. And I've got X amount, and I have to make this X amount last me for the whole month and make notes. I spent this on this, I spent that on that. Could I have saved money? Have I spent too much? Could I have spent more? How do I pay my bills? How do I pay my internet? Do they have a food delivery system? Where do we go and eat? What type of restaurants do we go and eat? How do I pay my medical bills? Because it's not like the NHS where it's free on the point of service. I have to pay. So where would I go? Do I go to the bottom tier where the poor local people go to? Do I go to the middle class or do I go to the high end?
Mhm.
Do I eat the local foods? Yeah, or live as the local? But when it comes to the healthcare, I have that money where I'm thinking, no, 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 my healthcare is important to my family and my family. So therefore, that's the only thing I'm going to dip into the funds for and say, right, there's no ceiling when it comes to my health. But you're able to do that because of the money you're saving, because you're eating or you're living amongst the locals, eating their food, shopping in their supermarkets. doing what they do in everyday life. Because another thing that we have to take into and we have to mention as well, and I'm going to start saying it more. Okay, muhajirs that come from the West that are able to utilize the pound, the dollar, and the euro, we are in a privileged situation because once we cross that equator, yeah, anything between 1,200 and 2,000 British pounds, yeah, you're nice in most part of the world. Nice in most part of the world. And to go to another country where your finances is stronger than the local currency is a privilege. But that, in a sense, doesn't mean that you can start flushing cash and eating at McD's and going to Red Lobster and doing this and doing that, and not taking stock of, okay, like we done last live. I spend this, I have this left over. What am I going to do? Am I going to save for my future? Because that euro, that dollar, that pound can be cut off in an instant. So what am I going to do to provision myself just in case that privilege has been taken away from me for whatever reason?
Hey, you said a lot there, brother. Preach, brother. All right. So price to move. This is really important right here, man, because you have to include the cost of this is after, when you're deciding to move to that place, you have to include the flight costs, deposits, because if you're renting, it works different in different countries, but let's just say you're going to have to pay at least a security deposit, the first month rent. You're going to have to set up, what we did was we rented an Airbnb that was fully furnished and made a deal to stay there. But Brother Hamza, like he mentioned, his rent was cheaper, but he had to set up. He had to get all the furniture for the house. And I think with some things included, but I think you had to buy a fridge and had to do that. My mother had a semi-furnished house, so she just did stuff like ACs and stuff like that. But still, there's some setup costs that you have to consider. And of course, the furniture, if you were to set up your house right. So all that costs something. So you have to consider that. Don't think you're just going to go there and have the first month rent and then figure it out later. That's not what we recommend. People do it all the time, but that's not what we recommend. All right, on to the next. Test the systems you would depend on. This is something Brother Hamza mentioned as well. How do you plan to get around? So if you're going to use, in most of these countries, a lot of the countries that have Ubers, for the more modern, I don't know if you're going to say more modern, but a lot of countries have Uber or something similar to that. Like in Malaysia, they had Grab, a different type of phone. And then Kazakhstan, they had something else. I forgot what it was called, but it was like a Russian thing. But still, it's a version of the apps that you can order rides. Are you going to do that? Are you going to get on the bus? Are you going to ride the train? So you need, whatever you plan to do, you need to do it while you're there. So go get on the train, see how it is. Get on the bus, see how it is. That's very important. Test the transportation that you'll be using. Don't just put away the rental car for a day and go and see how the transportation is. Definitely test the internet and the mobile connections. That varies from place to place, but generally most of the countries that we've been to had internet, including Pemba. You have internet. So even the mobile internet and the home internet, but you still need to check it and see, because they all varied. Like Malaysia was amazing when it came to internet, no doubt. There's no discussion about that. And then other places you feel like they can do better. Like it's we're in 2026, like what they doing. So test all that out. Let's move to the next slide real quick. Make sure the move works for everyone. That's kind of what we discussed earlier. Like we visit hospitals. We did that in Malaysia, by the way. I think it just so happened that one of our friends was in the hospital, and we went into the hospital and we visited him in the hospital. That's the brother you were talking about earlier. And and then we also just went to look at it. Went in the hospital. Malaysia has amazing healthcare facility, no doubt about it.
Mm.
So we're not just on a Malaysia thing here, but the other places do too. Turkey was amazing. Egypt is hit and miss, but they have it. They have good ones, and they have poor quality. But that's like, I guess that would be everywhere. But you need to visit it to see if there's something you can deal with. Do you have any chronic illnesses? Are you going to need? I mean, nobody knows like of emergency type situations, but will they be able to handle any type of basic emergency situations? Clinics are different than hospitals, and then pharmacies. Pharmacies work different everywhere. When we went to in Egypt, you can just basically go to the pharmacy and say, my throat hurt, and he'll give you something. In Saudi Arabia, no. No, you go in there and say, "Oh, I got this infection." He'd be like, "Go to the hospital and get a prescription." So they all work differently, but you need to check that because there's certain medications that you may not have access to that you have access to in your home country, but generally everything is there. Like the basic ailments that people face is there.
It's just done. It's just done differently. Right. Sorry to cut you, bro. From what I found in my travels, there ain't nothing out there that you're going to be missing in the West. It's just done differently. Like you mentioned about medical care and all that kind of stuff. Like you have, like even in Egypt, you have the clinics, then you have the hospitals. Most people, unless it's an emergency, they go to the clinic, and then the clinic would advise, okay, here's a prescription. This is what you need. Or if they need to upgrade you to the hospital, they'll upgrade you to the hospital. It's like you were saying about medicines and prescriptions and all that kind of stuff. The same drugs that we are used to in the West, they have it. Yeah, it just might be called a different name. It might be a Chinese copy or an Indian copy and all that kind of stuff. But when I say Indian copy or Chinese copy, it is the real deal. You're not going to be sold placebos. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just that the issue is it's the same drug given a different name. That's all it is. But like Omar was about to say, the same ailments that you can get treatment for in the West, you can get treatment for in the East. You can get it. It's there. But again, don't take my word for it. Go and test it. And that's one thing actually, Omar. One thing. One of the things that I never did when I was in Egypt. I never ever had an emergency number. Like in in the US you would call 911. In the UK we call 999. Yeah. In Egypt, alhamdulillah, like it never happened. Allah never tested me with that. But if I had to have if an emergency happened at home and I needed an ambulance straight away, I would have been lost. I'd be probably ringing you. I'll probably ring you. Omar, I need you to take me to the hospital. My arm's hanging off. It was like that. And again, people, like it's not advisable to do that. Find out your emergency. Listen, even if you don't know the emergency numbers, yeah, if you're there with a Jamaat or your friends or you have links within the expat community, have a system in place where, for example, one brother has, like, not all the time, say one brother a week. Okay, it's my turn this week. Yeah, that brother can be contacted 24/7 in case of an emergency. So he would know, okay, you've fallen down the stairs, right? I'm on my way. Yeah, he knows where to pick you up from. He knows to take you to the hospital. So even if you're not savvy with how emergency situations are dealt with, yeah, if you're not there with a Jamaat, you must know another family. So the husbands can discuss, the wives can discuss, okay, if an emergency was to occur, I don't know how to ring the ambulance. I don't speak Malay. I don't speak Armia. I don't speak Swahili. But if there's an emergency, we need to find out how we're going to get about. Who would I call? Okay, bro. Well, in this situation, doesn't matter what time you call. If you call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I know it's a problem. And if I call you at 3 o'clock in the morning, I know it's a problem. But because we've got these procedures in place, you're at least 3/4 of the way there, rather than having no procedure. No procedure. You don't know what to do. Okay, well, my son's broken down and twisted his ankle. It looks like it's broken. Call an Uber. Come on. Like, you know? Sorry, Aki. I'm just reminiscing again the things that if we would have taken our time step by step by step by step by step, these are the things that we should have put in place, but we didn't. We had tawakkul, and I'm not saying tawakkul doesn't work because it worked for you and I, yeah. But like this is the journey, folks. Listen, you could even ignore everything that me and Omar are saying just because Bismillah and do your thing. We're not advocates against that. We don't advise it, but Bismillah and go because it worked for us. It's worked for other people that we know. So why shouldn't it work for you? We're just advising you in situations where you have the opportunity to take your time and take it one step at a time. This is what we're advocating for. But if you want to go Bismillah and get on the plane and inshallah put your life in Allah's hands, Bismillah, go ahead and do it. But that's not something that we recommend. We could be wrong. You could be right. Who knows? Allah knows best, as they say.
Yeah. So, right. So look, I don't know how many slides I got on here, bro.
It's cool, bro. Let's keep
I would
going.
say that it's definitely people going to continue on doing what they're doing, and some people are going to try to prepare themselves, and some people have a legitimate fear, So, look, it's you have to do the work and make the effort, and then when you go to do something, you depend on Allah. You did everything that you could do.
Yeah.
You prepared yourself in the best way you can, and it doesn't guarantee that you're going to be successful. But once you do everything you can do, then you go for it and you tawakkal Allah. So you need to. These are some more suggestions here. We did the healthcare, and he's right, by the way, because a lot of situations don't exist in other places because you don't have the same types of sicknesses that may exist in other places or are more prevalent in other places. Because you have to understand, like a lot of places here, they're eating very well. That's something else to consider. Like all this stuff that's happening now that we see in the West with the fake food and all this stuff, and people just trying to find a way to cut corners in food and be cheap and make stuff taste the best it can and get people addicted to certain things and all that stuff. That right there is on a very low level, on this side of the world. So a lot of people are still cooking, man. Like I didn't know that people stopped cooking. Like I'm completely. I didn't know, bro, for real. Like people are not cooking anymore. They're eating out. Can you imagine eating McDonald's or Burger King or that 3 times a day? That's unheard of. Like you eat out once. Like that's at least
that's a treat.
Like that's like a extra. It's not the foundation things, right? Even eating out once a week is something. Like it used to be like, oh, we're gonna have McDonald's today. Like that was something, but to have it every single day, 3 times a day, that's how people are. Their health is deteriorating because of that. Just that. So it's not strange in Egypt, for example, in every place that we've been. But let's just say Egypt, like almost not every corner, but corner, skip a few blocks corner, you're gonna find a guy selling fruits and vegetables.
Yeah,
you're gonna find a guy on the corner selling fruit and vegetables, bro. And on top of that, a lot of the stuff is seasonal. It's not even like, okay, you can get watermelon all year round. It's not like that here. Like I'm sure there's a place that a guy has some watermelon, but generally you're waiting for the mangoes to come out. You're waiting for the tangerines to come out, the oranges to come out. So it's still, you still have that, and that's like the daily diet of a lot of people, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why they still have sicknesses. Don't get me wrong, but a person that's just on a strict diet like that and eating at home and cooking with natural ingredients and stuff like that, his health is a lot better than somebody that's constantly eating junk food. And they have it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna make it seem like they don't have chips and all that stuff. They do,
Mm-hmm.
and candy. They have it. But what I'm saying is that alongside that, you have a whole lot of healthy alternatives and things like that. Anyway, bro, I don't need to jump. Okay, back to here, man. Let's stay focused. Okay,
Stay focused.
investigate schools. Okay, that's obvious. If you're going to put your child in a school, you should go investigate the
Mm-hmm.
schools and the options for schools,
Mm-hmm.
and talk to people. It's better to talk to people than to just jump in and just jump into a school and look at it. Talk to people and see where they're enrolling their children and how they like the schools and that type of thing as well. That's why it's important to find a person on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Test your spouse's daily life. That's important as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is your family, your spouse going to do every day? What will their routine be? And you just need to make sure that that works for them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
could they do the things that they used to do, or can they find other activities? Can they find other people that they can engage with, or even if they don't want to be so social, but like have somebody that can ask questions and
Mm-hmm.
see, that type of thing. And then also your child's daily life. That's why the place in Malaysia that we moved to, it had uh, it had children activities there. Like, it was really family oriented. Meaning, and most of the, and you'd be surprised. Like, Turkey was the same. Like, they got to have a playground somewhere. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they really consider the children and families.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something that was amazing about where we were. You go down the street, you can go down our street, or we can go down near Hamza's place. He's wasn't that far. He was like across the grass.
Mm-hmm.
You cross over the grass, and then that's their neighborhood, and they had their own play
Mm-hmm.
areas and everything. So you can do that, and you can walk to another area and do. So you have to test your child's daily life, what they're going to do, what type of activities, because unfortunately, children nowadays they spend a lot of time at home.
Mm-hmm.
They spend a lot of time on video games and stuff like that. So they don't really have that much activity like they used to. But over there, like, that's part of the life. Get
Mm-hmm.
outside, go down the street, go play on the thing, and come home.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on. Okay, the money and the paperwork. This is a really good point, because we struggled with this point in many places, uh, like having a bank account. Like, I remember you were fighting to try to get that in Malaysia, to try to find a way to
Yep.
get a bank account.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, like that thing, um, there's things about bank accounts nowadays, because having a bank account allows you I'm not sure about Hamza. I think you kind of, you wasn't around for this,
Mm-hmm.
but they have these apps now, and we learned this in Turkey, where you pay all your bills on the app, and the app
Mm-hmm.
is connected to your bank account,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now in Egypt, it's the same. Like, you have, in order to pay your phone bill, electric bills, and all these things, you don't have to go to wait for the guy to come and collect the money. That's how it used to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? Nowadays, you have meters and stuff that are connected to these cards, and they're prepaid cards, and you just tap the thing on the meter and whatever. So how do you recharge this card? You need to put it on an app, and then in order to pay, you need a bank account. So these things you have to look at as well, to see, okay, well, how will I get a bank account? What are the requirements to have one? Sometimes you have to have a residency permit. You have to go to certain banks, whatever. So you
Mm-hmm.
need to figure that out. You need to check the income rules. Um, how are you going to get your money? Um, some people argue, like, can you work? Can you do remote work? Forget all that. Just, you need to figure out how you're going to get your money in,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can go to the ATM. That's an option. Like, go and just pull out the money from the ATM. But at some point, that starts to get tiring. If
Mm-hmm.
you need a certain amount of money, imagine just going to the ATM with the man bag with all this cash. That stuff is that's changing. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
even though a lot of us would rather deal that way, but things are changing. So you got to figure out how you're going to move this money, especially
Mm-hmm.
for your rent payments and whatever big payments you want to do. You might want to buy a car or do something like that. So how you want to move all this money?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of know the rules for that, the rules for moving money. My fault, bro. I'm trying to breeze through these joints.
No problem, Sheikh.
You need to experience the bureaucracy. That's a really good point because
Mm-hmm.
some bureaucracy is just so heavy, it's too heavy to bear. And what that means is like dealing with legal, governmental paperwork and stuff like that. That can get really difficult depending on where you are. Like
Mm-hmm.
the what do you call it? Malaysia was good for that because they have apps and they have different things that you can use that makes things organized. Like you go and scan this thing and give you the number. Usually, you know how people pull a number to get
Yeah.
in line to do
Yeah.
something. There, you scan this thing and the joint number come on your phone and that's it. Like they were great with that type of stuff. You know, when
Yes.
it came to dealing
100%.
with bureaucracy. But then there's a problem also that comes with that, and that is like there's no exceptions. Like
Mm-hmm.
you, you forgot that paper. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
like you got to start your whole day over because you forgot the this piece that was supposed to be there. So when
Mm-hmm.
they say bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you better bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's no exceptions to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Other places it's just so much going on. It's kind of hectic, and it's so many people, and you know what I'm talking about with that.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to experience doing something that requires official something so you can see how they operate. Or another way to do it is if you don't experience yourself, you need to ask about it. What's the process like for what do you call it, renewing my visa or
Mm-hmm.
doing this type of paperwork or getting this official thing? You need to know that so to make sure that you're going to be able to deal with that when it happens, because sometimes it can be kind of
But
traumatic.
yeah.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, yeah, it can be monotonous. Also find out if there's a way that you can pay to get it done. Like in my situation, you have the different tiers now, isn't it? Where you can just pay a solicitor to do it for you, or you pay a private company to get all your documents done for you. Now,
You could. I met a brother. I met a brother that like if you want to get something done, you ask him and he gave you a number. Like it's
right.
certain things that like for example, the embassy, like
Hmm.
our embassy, it's like getting a appointment is crazy. Like they might have you waiting 6 months for one to get an appointment.
Right.
So, but there's people that you can contact that can get you the appointment the next day.
Hmm.
So you're right. Like you need to have those type of connections to. Um, it's going to cost you something, but it's gonna help you out.
Hmm.
Who's going to wait 6 months to get the birth certificate or whatever for their kid or a passport renewed or whatever.
Hmm.
So yeah, you do need that. You do need those connections, and the way you get those is by talking to people and having a little network that you can rely on while you're there.
Hmm.
You need to test the social life and not just the scenery. Okay, this park is beautiful. You'll find some places, man, with some really beautiful scenic scenery that you probably never seen before in your life. Like just amazing scenery. But you gotta get down with the people, man. You
Yeah.
gotta meet people. A lot of folks have different things going on. So getting into networking events and talking to people, you need to know what the social life is going to be like. So the first thing here is talk to expats, of course. Ask people that have been there for a good period of time. Um, what the things, because everybody has the honeymoon phase thing, and then once they start living, then they start to see things. Certain stuff starts to appear.
Hmm.
So you have to talk to people and see like what are those things I should be prepare myself for.
Hmm.
Of course, you should talk to the locals because they'll give you a different, because there's always an underbelly everywhere, and sometimes it's not important if you're not a part of that life, but it's good to talk to locals for a lot of reasons, even cultural reasons. But then also, man, to know what's going on, like what's happening over here. Like we think it's this Jannah right here. Some people might
Yeah.
think there's no crime, there's no nothing, but no, there's crime. There is.
Yeah.
They're gangsters. There's all that is there, but
Mhm.
it's not in your face. And the predominant culture is one that's like, you know, safe and everything like that. But then you do have underbelly everywhere. You have people doing stuff everywhere, criminals everywhere. So you need to talk to locals just to get a realistic idea of what's going on. Um, Test the community. Yeah, and visit the masjids. If you're interested in any type of classes, go to the classes and see what's going on there. Visit the neighborhoods, visit the family spaces where you probably take your family. Another thing is to test the language barrier. Let me know if I'm talking too much, man.
Go ahead, bro.
Uh, Test the language barrier, um, and because that's another thing. Like some places, English you can get around. You can get
Yeah.
around with your local language,
Hmm.
English, or whatever it is. You can get around with it. And then other places, you can't. It's nobody that speaks your language. You'll find that, you
Didn't
know.
you have that experience in
So you got,
Turkey? You had that experience in Turkey.
yeah. I mean,
Mm,
yeah, that was a real issue, man.
mm, mm,
You know, and even though we loved Turkey, we loved it. Like the life was great in Turkey,
mm.
but that was one of those things. Like you you got to find somebody that can help you if you don't want to learn Turkish. And the Turkish people were very proud. You know, like
Mhm.
they don't care. Like, look, you need to learn Turkish. You want to live here. You know, that straight like that. You know, you would have to use Google Translate. That's the first time I had. What was that? I think
Google
Kazakhstan was
Translate.
the first time you going around with a Google Translate or whatever. You know, translating everything and passing your
Wow.
phone to people and all that kind of weird stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, language test the language barrier. How many slides do I have here, man? I don't know. We're almost done here. So let me just go ahead and do this quickly.
Mhm.
Uh, where am I? Okay, test the language barrier. Okay, experience a country at its least convenient.
Mhm.
So um, if it gets hot, like if you can't stand the heat, you need to go when it's about to be hot out there to
Mhm.
see how it is. You know, um, you need to you know walk around the neighborhood. You think it's safe, but go ahead and take a walk at night and see. Yeah, I mean
Mhm.
that's not to scare anybody, but it's just to say like, okay, I felt a certain way. I'm not gonna lie. In Kazakhstan, walking through there, there's them dudes. Some of them dudes rough, man. They rough. So
Yeah.
you better like know where you are, you know. And
Yeah.
you could tell like they waiting on something. You know, they're respectful,
Mhm.
but you could tell like, yo, you as soon as you jump, they jump. You know,
Mhm.
so you just need to know where you are and understand like, okay, it's safe here. Is it really? Like
Mhm.
observe and take a look around. I wouldn't say it was unsafe. I just used the Kazakhstan as an example because I saw some dudes. I saw some guys just hanging out like who is this dude? Like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here. But
Mhm.
don't think it's just, roses and all that. You gotta make sure, test the safety. You think it's safe, test it. Experience the environment. Pay attention to the heat. Like there are issues of like pollution. And you know that. Like stuff is dirty, stuff is look at the environment, see if it's something that you can deal with.
Mhm.
Um, Dusty, like some places are dusty, man. Like you're gonna wake up and you gotta make sure that you dust the house, or else
Mhm.
it's gonna build up and it gets thick and muddy type. So those are things you should look at as well. I'm running through here, bro. I'm sorry, man. So I'm gonna let you take over from here. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah. So build a
Yeah.
failure plan. Yes. Let me talk about build a failure plan. Okay. There are two things. There's two issues here. Yeah. Every you could, for example, you got two choices now. There's two roads you can go down. You can go Bismillah, have tawakkul Allah, and then go, and it fails. you could follow what Omar and I have been talking about for the nearly 2 hours, and it fails. But in reality, is it a failure? I would say no. I would say don't look at these things like you could do all your due diligence as much as you can. If you say, for example, you choose Turkey or Malaysia or Tanzania and you do all your due diligence, you prepare, over prepare in fact, and you arrive and it all flops. It all flops. Is that a failure? In my opinion, no. It's something that you should learn on. It's something that you get up, you dust yourself off, and you start again. Because let's put it this way: the ultimate decision of where you are going to be is Allah. Allah is the ultimate decider of where your final destination will be. So then you may ask, okay, so why would Rabbil Alameen, why would he put me through all this for this to now fail, and then now I'm left with a choice: do I go back to the UK or do I go back to the US, or do I find another country? Yeah. Number one, Allah says clearly, do you expect to say that you believe and not be tested? Number two, the failures or the mistakes that you have made, even though you've been as diligent as you possibly could or possibly you believe, you might have slipped, you might have missed a few that you thought was trivial and it actually turns out to be important. Yeah, that could be the reason why the whole thing fails. But again, it's not a failure. It's something that after you've got up and dusted yourself off and started to go again, you will look back and say, okay, well, the next time we go, or when we leave here and go over there, those things that we didn't put as much due diligence as we should have, we will. And ultimately, where you decide that where you want to go might not be the place where Allah has decided that He wants you to be. So don't always assume, okay, we're going to go Dubai, and you live in Dubai for 2-3 years and everything flops and you have to leave. So that means it's failed. I'm going back to the US. I'm going back to the UK. No, it just means it's time to move on. So you have to put things in place in case that happens. Like it's just reality. When I moved to Egypt, and I was so full of, I don't know, Egypt euphoria. Yeah. Those who have been to my channel, Hamza's Hijrah, there's a video in there when I talk about after I've got my apartment, I've met the brothers, I'm in the community. I said, okay, now the next thing I want to do, I want to go through the whole Azhar curriculum from infant school up to degree. I'm going to be a sheikh. I'm going to die in Azhar. And it wasn't just talk. I sincerely, in the bottom of my heart, that is what I wanted to do. Yeah. Allah had different plans for me. I tried. I got on the treadmill and I tried. And my lack of persistence and being drawn from left to right, and also Allah deciding that's not for me. So do I hold it in my heart that I wanted to go to Azhar and I failed? That is true. That part is true. But why did I fail? So then now, when I look at the reasons as to why I failed at that, I now have to take note of that and think, okay, if I ever go along this road again, these are the things that I have to take into consideration. So, and money as well. Like you should have a good idea would be to have an emergency fund that you do not touch in any, even if you leave it with a family member in the country that you're leaving and say, listen, I'm only going to call you for this money if I'm in dire straits, meaning I have to leave with my family by next week. That's when you make that call and say, yeah, ping over that money for me. Other than that, that money's just left in a pot. It doesn't exist until you are in a situation, like an emergency situation, where you need funds quick. Now, again, Omar and I are talking about the ideal situation based upon what we didn't have, what now we're thinking about it, we should have. So you take the advice, or Bismillah, tawakkal Allah, and do your thing. We're not saying that if you do one, the other one's bad. We're not saying that. It's up to you. These are things that if you have the ability to put into place, we are suggesting that you should put into place. If you have 3/4 of those things that we've discussed, you have them, and now you just feel Bismillah and go, tafaddal, go. Bismillah and go. Allah has you. Allah has you. Don't worry. He's made the promise. Food and shelter will be provided for those who make Hijrah for me. It's a promise. Believe it. Omar and I have been recipients of that promise. Trust me. So, but what we're saying is, we're humans, where we've made mistakes, we can now come back and say, maybe we should have done this. Maybe we should have done that. And this is what we're passing over to you. So, yeah, an emergency fund that you only call upon in case of a quick exit from a certain country or whatever, that's something you should consider. Bismillah.
Yep, my fault. That was an accident.
No problem, man.
I wasn't trying to stop your flow, man.
No, you didn't, but it's fine. I feel
so. We got the check restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
Know what you cannot legally or practically bring with you. That's something different. That's like whatever you're moving with you. Know what you can and can't move with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to breeze through these slides a little bit faster. Remove the vacation filter. Again, we talked about that already.
Yeah.
You're not there for a vacation. You're there to check out how life would be and kind of do a simulation of what it would be like if you moved there.
Mm-hmm.
Ignore the cheap trap.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brother Hamza would disagree with me on this, but
no, man, cheap is good.
yeah, you gotta go for what you're used to, man.
No.
It's not good to like bring your family into like a struggle situation. You should bring them into something that you may not touch immediately what you came from, depending on where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But give them something that's similar, maybe a little different, but similar.
Mm-hmm.
Ignore the honeymoon phase because you might have a really, really great experience, and then the reality sets in after that wears off. After the honeymoon phase wears off, when you leave the country, you should leave with a kind of a decision in your mind as to whether you want to investigate it further, come again.
Mm-hmm.
I think we went to Malaysia about 3 times before we decided.
Yeah.
So, and then you should, and once you finally make a real decision, then you move on. You move on to someplace else to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one. Leave with an answer. We just said that. Move, further investigate, or eliminate it.
Eliminate.
So this is our presentation for this evening, and it is late over here. I know it's late over there. So
have we got any questions, bro?
Yeah, let me do that. Let's see if there's any questions here. Bismillah. For anyone who watches these live streams, please take the time, take the opportunity to ask any questions that you have, because we'll read the questions live. There's a lot of salams being given. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Red man. I've heard so many things about Malaysia, good and bad. The proximity and the cultural differences appears to make it so much harder. But all my respect to the country, it looks beautifully built. And it is.
It is. We concur.
Credit, man. Let me see here. Liz, uh, I'm not too fussed as long as my accommodations are clean, comfortable, and safe. I will drop my bags. I hear that.
Assalamu alaikum, Liz 741. She's a subscriber to
Uh,
my channel, Hamza's Hijrah.
let's see. I think this had to do with talking about with the
No Giza, no Luxor.
yeah. If you go to any of these places, man, they're gonna you might not have that best experience when it comes to
Mm.
how things are. You know what I mean?
I still think we should try not Aswan. We haven't been to Aswan, bro.
Yeah, even there. I mean, it's places. There's people. You have to connect with people here
Hmm.
because somebody can direct you to a family that's going to show you how it really is. Like
Hmm.
the touristic things can be um, a bad experience for some people. So, and that's
Mm.
everywhere. That's not just one particular place. So you gotta, if you have somebody on the ground that can say, okay, let me connect you to this family, and wherever you're going, Luxor, even Giza, wherever,
Hmm.
then you can get a better experience doing that.
Hmm.
Um, would be great if you make an episode about schooling options.
That's a
Yeah,
little bit. I mean, yeah, but that's going to be a little bit difficult. I mean, how would we? I mean, listen, it'd be good if we could, but how would we? How would we? I mean, I mean,
I think you have some experience. Like for us, we try to we
we
really try to do
homeschool.
homeschool, and we put them in. We did put them in nurseries and stuff like that. But that was early on, and then
Hmm.
people made schools. Like you had expats that made their own schooling and schooling businesses, and
Hmm.
we did that. But as far as like for me personally, it's more of a thing like um, I need to keep them close to me, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
and we need to keep them close to home because once you start doing the school thing, then they're going to be spending most of their time there, and the influence is going to be from the kids there.
Hmm.
But you,
Yeah,
you did a different thing, so
yeah,
maybe you want
yeah.
to share that.
Yeah, I mean, my kids, especially, well, I'd say Ianthe's first school was in Malaysia. Talking about Malaysia again. Yeah,
Mhm.
we put her in the play school in Malaysia. She loved it. I mean, it got to the point where we used to go to the cafe in the morning and she would order breakfast for us.
Right.
So you know what I mean. Now they're in the Tanzanian educational system, and we have no issues with it because again, I think we spoke about it a couple of lives ago. Um, as long as the society that you live in reinforces your principles at home, then you've won half the battle. The only issue is if your society talks about other than what you're trying to enforce at home. So, but yeah, I mean, but then again, I think we need to. I mean, the homeschooling because my brother homeschools his daughter or homeschooled. She's finished now, and it's also a good option that people should look into. Also, you know, what I mean, it's not. I don't think it's as difficult because I experienced for a short time around your children, what they did for their homeschooling, and it didn't come across like it was any more intense or it was dramatic as you sit in front of the laptop, do go through their programs, and it gets marked. It's as simple
Mhm.
as that. Exactly. It's just that you're doing it from home. So I think homeschooling should be something that Muhajirs need to look at as well.
Man. Hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. I can't. What is that? Okay. I'm
Ashukul is
sorry. I'll butcher that
662.
name. So let's just move on.
Which
Which
Muslim?
Muslim country? Which Muslim country do you think is the furthest away from Western nations in terms of lifestyle and environment? Which country is more spiritual instead of materialistic and prefers simple life? All right. I probably have my opinion about this, but go ahead, brother Hamza. What do you think?
I would say Pemba, man. I would say
Pimba?
if you want to live a simple life. Simple life. Not when I mean simple, I don't mean sleeping under a bush and all that kind of stuff. Not that simple. But if you just want to have your place, enjoy your family, go to the masjid when you feel like it, not worry about the tribulations and the turbulences of what's happening in the outside world, my top choice would be Pemba. What's furthest away from Western nations in terms of lifestyle and the environment? I think I would have to put, I would have to say most Muslim countries, because unless you've been to a Muslim country, you have no reference point to compare it to. So it's not about necessarily being the furthest away, because a country, okay, let's say for example, UK is technologically advanced, but so is Malaysia. So because Malaysia is technologically advanced and so is the UK, does that mean the lifestyle is the same? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that. So obviously, for simplicity and a nice, basic, quiet, peaceful life and waiting to meet your Lord, my choice is Pemba. But at the same time, if you want to know, when you say farthest away from from the West, is that obviously means their societal influences, like the things that you as a potential Mahajir want to run away from. And I'm saying quite confidently, most, if not all, Muslim countries, if you take away the technological advances, because again, we get fed the spoon that everything that is best has come from the West. It hasn't. It hasn't. Like, I never saw those apps. Simple, basic thing. Those apps that we used to use to go into immigration, and we had to download the app to let them know that we were here and all that. I never saw that in the UK. I never saw that in the UK. So it's technological advances doesn't mean that they've adopted Western influences. You have to separate the two. And two, you have to go to a country that is technologically advanced, and then say, okay, you're technologically advanced. How is that technological advance affected your environment? And then make a decision. What do you think, Shay?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I agree with you for the most part. I would say that you have places like Mauritania and
Yep.
Afghanistan
Yep.
that are, and like he said, most Muslim countries, like, because I think people have spread this thing that the Muslim countries and the Western countries are the same now. That's not even close.
Close.
Like,
Not
no
even
way.
close.
You know, it's like that. Where does that? I don't even understand that logic, because a lot of Muslim countries, and I'm not just saying this, like I know this, a lot of Muslim countries are still very much family oriented. So that by itself would separate the West and the East miles apart.
Yep.
You know, there are still people that value male and female relationships, like marriage and children and your mother and father, like. And I think I mentioned this in the last live, where they asked the Westerners, would you take $1 million or your father? And
a few
even
people said $1 million.
Yeah, even the person that had a father, like, some people don't have a father and be like, $1 million. I never had a father in my life. But with this particular girl, she's like, yeah, I love my father, but $1 million, I need that money. You know, that was her answer. So even people that really value or really would like to have wealth, if you ask them that question, nobody would choose $1 million over their father, man. You know, or their mother. So that's a Western concept, and it was consistent. Everybody they asked said the same thing. Then they asked people that came from traditional families, and they said, no, I'm taking my father over $1 million. Like, what am I gonna do with $1 million without my father? So anyway, just those basic things that when you come, it's reflected in society. People honor their mothers and fathers.
Yep.
They honor their sisters. That's general. And then you have exceptions to that. That's everywhere. But generally speaking, the way that the East and the West looks at family and things like that, that's by itself changes. That makes a big difference when you visit a Muslim country over a non-Muslim country. So that's my take. But if you're looking for a simple life, spiritual, yeah, he's right. Pimpa's like that. You can go there. They have a spirit, madrasa. They have all that. It's
Oh,
like that, and it's slow in the terms of like they're not, and McDonald's everywhere and all that stuff. They don't have all that stuff. So they have their own thing, and they're pretty much like that. I'm sure if I went there now, it'd be similar to when we left. They just it's family oriented.
Yeah.
People, the only thing that's going to change is the age of the people. They're older now. But anyway, all right. So I want to make Hijrah to Malaysia in advice. Let me say this. Let me answer this first, because we do have a show coming up where we talk to a brother that's in Malaysia, and a roundtable where we talk to him and he tells us about all the visas and everything. And that'll be coming out in a few weeks. I don't know if Hamza want to say anything, inshallah.
Yes, go. Listen to everything that me and Omar have discussing for the past 2 hours and 20 minutes, and Bismillah and go, inshallah.
Malaysia is beautiful, man. If anybody want to visit, you should visit.
Yeah, I want to go back, man. I want to go back.
I do too, man. Yeah. This one is random. How is ordering Amazon in Egypt? They have an Amazon factory in Egypt now, so it's.
I know at one time there was a business that there was a couple of Egyptian students. What they do, they had contacts internationally. So what they would do is they would order through Amazon. So let's say, for example, they had somebody in the UK. Somebody from Egypt would have a look at Amazon UK, order something on Amazon UK, yeah, and then they would use the ordinary mailing service to ship to Egypt. But now, if you're saying that Amazon ships to Egypt, great, things have changed.
No, they have Amazon in Egypt. Like, it's here.
All
right. you just order online and they come. Amazon actually comes here. So, all right, hold on. I'm just looking to see if there's any more questions here. The cost of fast food is expensive here in the States. It's always better to cook at home. That's right.
Sahih.
Let me see.
Have we got a few? How many people are participating today, bro? Do you know?
It says it here, but I don't really look at that. You have to look at like when we finish, inshallah. You'll see how many people came through. You need two almost obligatory things for Hijrah, especially to a new county or country. You have no link to. You need good connections, because all these countries are about connections.
Yeah. I think that's what he's saying. Yeah, Sahih, agreed.
And you need a lot of money. You can't have enough money over there. Not finding a job for years or even for life is a harsh reality you must be prepared for.
Whoever that is, you need to look at the Make Hijrah channel, look at Hamza's Hijrah channel, and because we agree with part of what you're saying, but we might disagree on other things. But harsh reality, I wouldn't say so.
I didn't even read this before. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What are the options? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Aisha. What are the options for work and independence for children born and raised in countries like Egypt when they become adults? Okay, look. How can I say this without going off into a story, right? Everybody is going to get their wealth that Allah has written for them. And I've seen that because Alhamdulillah, Allah blessed me to have my family together. Like nobody had to go and try to go back to America to make. I mean, I'll rephrase that in a second. Um, my son went. One son went to America to because he wanted to get married, so he wanted to quickly get some money, and he did that. And once he got married, he left, and he hasn't been back to live. So we're all together, alhamdulillah. And three older, I have three adult children. Alhamdulillah, those three are married, and I have an adult daughter. She's married, so I have four married children, and I have grandchildren, mashallah, as well.
Mashallah.
So I'm saying that to say that I think we're not really thinking about our opportunities now. Even before, I think you could do it. And I know brothers that actually did it, brothers that have been here for a really long time with their family still. And they didn't have the internet opportunities that people have now. Like you can do what we're doing. We're doing lives and doing all this type of stuff. And there's a lot of opportunity online to do business and things like that. This is real. Like you can take care of yourself, and Allah will give you what you got coming regardless of where you are. And you do have to work for it, and you have to work hard, and you have to believe that Allah is going to do that so that you can make the moves it takes to establish yourself. So these are my youngest adult child is 19, I think. He's 19. He's married. He has a son, and he makes money like without being there and not even thinking about going there. So all of them, alhamdulillah, they're sustaining themselves. The opportunities they have to. What I would recommend people do is start thinking about this before they get too old and they want to get married and all this stuff. They should be preparing themselves ahead of that. And it's important. That's why we talk a lot about learning skills and trying to do things remotely. We talk a lot about that, and people think it's like, oh, you're trying to sell a course. It's not sell a course. It's to prepare you for life outside of the States or the UK without having to run back there thinking that, and don't. This is not an attack on Brother Hamza, because Brother Hamza has stuff going on. If he really wanted to, you go back and forth to the UK. But if you really, really wanted to, you just go over there, man. Do them chickens. You struggle a little bit till you make it work. So it's and I'm speaking on his behalf. He can speak for himself, but he's doing it just so that he can get enough capital to be self-sufficient. So the goal at the end is to be self-sufficient. Yeah, like to build something over there where you don't have to go back here and there. And again, his situation is different because he had a wife and children and all that. But these young men and women, you're preparing them through that. You're not wasting their time, like focusing on things that are not going to benefit them. Mm-hmm. Like, look, as a young child, I'm going to show you how to hustle and how to get money. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm going to show you. Along with that, I'm going to put you in an environment where you're not distracted by the things that other youth are distracted with. So by doing that, they're going to by themselves try to figure things out. So even I have a younger boy that buys all this stuff. He's 14. Mm-hmm. So he buys his own stuff. Like he buys his own laptop, buys his own phone, buys his own whatever. And he doesn't see money as he doesn't see it as like something that he have to lust for. He have to lust after because he don't have any responsibilities. Mm-hmm. So that's the time when you need to learn how to take away the mysticism of how to make money at that age. So he's living proof. Like he work, he do this. He has work ethic at 14 years old. So again, I'm not trying to make it seem like, oh, we're so great and other people. No, it's not that. It's that, you have to embed in these kids a self-sufficiency. Like I'm going to go out and do what I need to do. and I'm going to learn what I need to do in order to take care of myself. If I want to get married, I know I have to take care of a woman, and etc. So once they get that in their mind, then they can try to strategize before the pressure comes on. Basically, we put the pressure on and then try to figure it out. Generally, that's how we're backwards a lot of times. We want to get married before we can handle it. So it's actually the opposite way. Know that you can handle it first. Put yourself in a position where you can handle those responsibilities and then take on the responsibility. Go ahead, Hamza. You want to say something?
No, I was going to say my daughter is 10 and my son is 7, and we pay them a salary. Like we have a poultry farm. We do 1,100 chickens per month, and part of their learning to appreciate money is that, okay, anytime that there's an order for the chickens, they're cleaning out the chicken house, they're doing whatever needs to be done to run the business properly. They have set chores to do, and then at the end of the week, my wife pays them their salary. We take 1/3 for savings, 1/3 for charity, and the other third is them. So say, for example, we give them 6,000 shillings. Yeah, it's like Dahlia's on 6,000 shillings. So we give her the 6,000, and then we say, right, 2,000 for savings, 2,000 for sadaqah, 2,000 to do what you want with, right? And the plan is this. We have said not so much Kareem because he's 7, but with my daughter who's 11 next year, or this year maybe, we've said to her, listen, if you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, we're not going to stop you from. Don't believe because you're helping us in the chicken farm and earning a salary that we want you to be a chicken farmer. No. When you go to college and university and all that kind of stuff, those things have to be paid for. And in case that we can't help you pay for it, you now have a skill. You can take a chick from a day old up to day 30. You now know how to slaughter it, pluck it, and also know where to sell it. So if you ever needed a side hustle to ever buy a book to go to college, you know how to do it. Simple as that. That's how you prepare your child for later life when they become an adult. It's all very well learning about philosophy and all that kind of stuff, but is it vocational? Is it a skill that when they go out into the marketplace, people want them because they have that skill? That's how you prepare your children for adulthood. Rather than having the children chase money, no, let money chase them, because people want them because of the skills that they have attained. And the way you attain that skill is by teaching them from young, like Brother Omar was saying.
Yeah, I know a few situations like that. I mean, brothers that prepared their children to know what they can offer the marketplace. And and another thing too is that they have. You think you can't put them in university and they can't learn, like become an engineer, become a doctor or something. Like you can do that too. That's available. And it's not like doctors and engineers don't earn any money or something like that. No. I can bring you to Egypt. Well, not you, but you get my point. Like I can bring a person to Egypt and I can show you stuff that you say, whoa, I didn't know that this even existed here. I mean, it's people, they know how to make money and they do it. And that's not an issue. That's matter of fact, I think that I'm not sure if you embrace Islam or you were raised in a Muslim family, but and this might be a controversial statement, but I'm just being honest. Like a lot of immigrants that come to the States, that money's not the issue for them. Just to be honest, like that's part of life is educating yourself and getting into the marketplace and earning a living. So that's why you find a lot of the immigrant communities building masajid and building schools and stuff that the indigenous Muslims are not doing. They don't have the means to do it, but these people, they can barely speak English, go to college, become an engineer, go work in the work. And then a lot of them guys, they come in and they go hustle, make stores and all kind of stuff. And then we're still trying to figure things out. So the reality is that they don't have any problem mixing the deen and their dunya. They have no problem with that. It's like for some reason, either we extreme on one side trying to be super religious and poor, or the opposite, being non-religious and rich. Is But that's not how it is. Like you can be religious. Your religion is your personal thing. Like if I get off of this thing and start praying all night, that's me. Like you don't have to know that I did that. So we have to be honest. Like our religion is our personal thing. Me going to the masjid, me doing this, me giving sadaqah. Why do you need to know what I did? You don't. So, but our dunya is our collective. I'm selling to you. I'm selling to him. I'm doing this. My business has this reputation or this. I want to, enhance my thing or that. Now we're talking about something that we really need to talk about as a community, which is our finances. Like, how are we going to pay for this? The masjid water getting shut off. How are we going to pay? We're not thinking along the lines of like making our dunya right. We're just focused on trying to be religious in front of the people. So anyway, I think that people are not gonna like that I said that, but I'm just being honest with you. Like I don't have to be the sheikh. There's a person that's actually a sheikh over there that if you want to go learn from somebody, you can learn from him. If you want to learn from me, I can teach you some online business or something like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, what's the problem with doing that? So anyway, but to answer, just to summarize this answer is that a lot of times we have to just like do what we would normally do. Like if your family is a family that values education highly, then yeah, put them in the university like you would put them in any other university. Do that. Support them until they finish university, and then help them find a job or a career that they can go into. If you're like us, we come from hustlers background, so our thing is like independence and building our own businesses and that type of thing. And even Brother Hamza, like he wasn't just like a roofer working for somebody. He had his own company. That's our spirit, entrepreneurial spirit. And even his children now, they're learning how to pluck chickens and do all that. And at some point, that's a skill actually. Like you ask me to do that, I won't do it. I'll buy it from the person that does it. No, really.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
How am I supposed to? You give me a dead chicken, throw that joint on the thing, and I'm gonna be like, well, how am I get the feathers off this joint? What am I supposed to do? I couldn't even. But I'm not saying. I'm just saying it's not a low thing. But we all need these
skills.
Services.
Yeah,
they're skills. So anyway, let's move on, man. My fault. Sorry about that. What countries are the best to help parents that have SEN children in relation to schools? I find through my research that there isn't quite the same support available for children with disabilities. SEN. I don't know what that is. Let me look it up, man. Let's be fair. Hold on a second. SEN children. Hold on a second, bro. Let me get the meaning of this right quick.
I think it's
okay. Special education needs. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Look, I would say this from experience. The brother that we went to, that we moved to Tanzania with, he had one client, a special needs child, and I'm thinking that that's an excellent way. He's first of all, he's from American. He has a background in teaching children with special needs. You can find people, and you can even find schools. It just depends on where you go. That's one of the important things of the fact finding mission, because that would be kind of your main priority, is to find a place that can service your particular situation with your child. So that exists, and in some places it's more than others and better than others. Yes. Like in Egypt, I know a brother with that type of situation, and he gets a private teacher to deal with it, and teach the child. So I would think that's the worst case scenario in terms of like accessibility. But it could be a best situation, because the brother was working with the child every day, 5 days, or every work day, and that was like one-on-one, and he saw results by doing that. And and the parents are happy with that. So you have that scenario, and then you have scenarios, I'm sure, in like Malaysia and other places where they deal with that, and they have special schools for that. But it's something that you would have to look into, and see if it fits. And you might find a better situation in the Muslim world than you would there. So it's something that, of course, that would have to tie into your specific situation. Oh man, I'm done, bro. This is killing me.
The
The
US is
U.S.
broke. Yeah,
But
in it.
maybe.
Maybe. Yes, they're broke, bro. They're broke.
I ain't, all right, bro, man. I kept you up long enough.
That's no problem, Sheikh. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Let's keep this going.
Don't forget my salary, though.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
And inshallah. So, but really, honestly, like this is the opportunity really for people who want to interact, and because I'm not available for consultations and stuff like that. I just it's not because I'm so this. It's not that. It's just I don't I'm busy, and I don't, you know what I'm saying, stuff.
Yeah. We're not about.
I'm busy. So these are like times where people can ask us.
Live
if you have
questions.
any questions or anything, just ask. And these are the formats where everybody, I think this is more beneficial for everybody. And then you have people, in my opinion, that are more, they're more, they can answer your questions better when we talk about consultations. Like we connect people to people that can really, if you want to talk to me about Saudi Arabia, yeah, I've been there. I know more than the average person, but there's people actually there on the ground that can answer the questions better. Tanzania, I've been to Tanzania. We wanted to move there, all that, but you live there. So why would I take a Tanzania consultation? It makes more sense for.
And I'm all about mindset. I'm all about removing that apprehension and fear of taking that step, that leap of faith, as we say. So, I think.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say again, and the best place to find out whether Omar and I are the real deal is to ask us live, because there's nothing scripted here. It's off the top of the head, like based upon what our experiences are. So, put your comments in, come and join us on our live, and let's have a conversation, man. You don't necessarily have to agree with us, but at least tell us why you don't agree and hear what we've got to say. There might be something that we haven't taken into consideration. There might be something that you haven't taken into consideration. So let's do this.
Look, I think that for most people, or for many people, this is probably one of the, for me personally, and let me talk, I'm not going to talk for everybody, but for me personally, I don't regret this decision at all, even with all the hardship, all the whatever that happened, uncertainty, because you'll face that. You'll face that situation where you're like, did I make the right decision in certain things? Not everything, but really, honestly, it's something that I wouldn't take back. It's something that, Allah has blessed both of us with the opportunity to see things from a different perspective, and really in this day and time, it's like it's a war, ideological war happening, where people are really trying to take control of the way you're thinking and put scenarios in your mind so you start to think a different way, and lose power because for some reason, it's weird, but the power is not with the majority. The majority don't have power. You do really, but they've taken that power from the majority, and now it rests here with people that want to manipulate you and have you think in a certain way, and basically end up destroying your life, really, like making decisions that destroy your life. Can you imagine? This is going to sound crazy, but confusing a child in the beginning and not telling a child you're a boy or you're a girl, confusing them as to whether you can be this or what you might feel like. How does a boy know what a girl feel like, or vice versa?
Yeah.
That's weird. But I can make you think that and doubt that. And then when I make you doubt that, Now you think, okay, you're a boy and you think you're a girl. So now you're going to take some puberty blockers to stop you from developing as a boy. Those type of things, that's real, bro.
Yeah, it
That
is.
type of stuff. Then later in life, you realize, well, man, I'm a man, but now you don't have what a man has.
Yes.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, bro.
that's an extreme example, but that's the reality. Like
Yeah.
that you're making life decisions that affect the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing too is like uh the thing about Muslim countries in general, like somebody might find some odd example was that, but you're a boy and you're a girl, and that's
Mm-hmm.
that. Is what you mean that you think you feel like that doesn't even I don't even know if that exists, to be honest, in Muslim countries. But that's one thing, bro. I'm just saying the destruction of the family, the introduction to sexual things early on in life, to where a person has been in multiple relationships and things like that. By the time they're a teenager, they've had all these different sexual experiences, and that damages them for when they want to get serious about a relationship. The idea that a woman needs to be equal to a man in terms of having to go to work and having to do this, like all these ideas that are being pumped into people. When you remove that, and I've witnessed it in my own situation, that people are on fitra. If you don't introduce things like that, a girl is going to be a girl, the boy is going to be a boy. The girl is not going to have any problem being married and understanding that her husband is running the show here, and I'm running the show here, and no problem. They don't have no problem submitting to that situation or anything without you having to force it or beat it into them or anything like that. It's just a
No.
natural. So anyway, I don't regret that at all, and I give it all up to do it again. It's not something that I feel like I need to go back to America and I need to. I don't have that feeling at all. That's me personally. But I'm thinking anybody that goes on to try to make Hijrah I think they will experience the same type of situation. I'm talking too much. Anything you want to say to close off, bro?
That's it, Aki. That's it, bro. See you all on Sunday. We really want to hope to see you here. Again, have your questions ready, have your comments ready, and let's have a conversation. Bismillah.
تمام. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace.
To speak to an expat on the ground living in the Muslim country you're considering, go to consultation.makehijrah.com.